Welcome into the Pride of Detroit POD cast. That is Pride of Detroit just about everywhere over on social media. Your favorite social media sites, your least favorite social media sites. You can find us just about everywhere, but you can definitely find us over at twitch.tv/Pride of Detroit or youtube.com/Pride of Detroit as well. If you're someone that actually enjoys watching live streams instead of maybe listening to podcasts, that's a thing that people have. So, if you're more of a visual person, we got you covered in those areas as well. I'm your host, Miko. You can find me over on Twitter at the Miko Scott, and I am joined by two of very familiar faces that you guys are probably well aware of, or voices, again, depending if you're listening to this. First, we have your senior editor over at Pride of Detroit, Ryan Matthews at Ryan_POD. Ryan, how's it going, my guy?
Miko, I'm doing well. The summer is heating up. Training camp's heating up. We're like, I don't know, how many hours away from football? We're calling it
We're
football.
Yeah, no, we're inching very close to football. We have football this week in the form of the Hall of Fame game, so we definitely have that. Summer is definitely heating up, but it's also winding down. Like it's not too far away from school starting and then having to get the kids ready for that type of stuff. Something that I'm sure neither one of us really want to have to look forward to all that much. But something that, our our boss does not have to think about, right? And that is Jeremy Reisman at Detroit Online over there on Twitter. Jeremy, how have things been going since training camp has been kicking off for you?
It's a grind, and I almost am embarrassed to call it that because the players are the one that's actually grinding. But covering eight practices in 10 days is certainly a lot, especially when those are starting nice and early at an 8 a.m. press conference for Dan Campbell, 8:30 practice. But it's one of my favorite times of year. So I'm going to bed tired, but happily tired.
I was gonna say, I think I would probably trade how my day starts in most cases than compared to like how your day starts.
Sure.
Granted, it does probably start earlier than mine, but I would much rather be at Allen Park watching these guys get ready for the regular season, instead of having to sit in meetings and things of that nature.
Fair.
Ooh, Jim Caldwell, things of that nature.
Oh, that's like a go-to of mine. But with that said, guys, we're basically in the second week of training camp, so we have a lot of practices to recap and catch up on, talk about some of our bigger, superlatives that have basically taken place so far throughout training camp. And we also have, like me and Ryan were saying, we have the Hall of Fame game to look forward to, so we're definitely gonna get into that later in the show. But first and foremost, let's kick things off with training camp. Like Jeremy said, they are so far 8 practices in. And I want to start this off, Jeremy, with a question to you. Seeing as you've been there, in Allen Park, being able to get eyes on a lot of these players, what has been one of your biggest surprises so far? And that can either be a player or maybe it's one group being ahead of the other. Just really curious on what has kind of stood out to you so far.
Yeah, I think my mind first goes to just how far away ahead the defense is. They have been dominant all camp, and it kind of culminated today during their scrimmage, the eighth practice, where the first team offense took about 4 or 5 series to really even get the ball moving at all. And granted, they eventually put together an 80-yard drive, put together a 40-yard drive, both ending in touchdowns. But I'm just and I know, like, anytime you say something like this, it's going to fracture the fan base in two, with half of them freaking out about the offense, half of them being really excited about the defense. And I think there's a little bit of like warrantedness for both of them. Like, the defense, I do think is playing very good. I do think that guys like Jack Campbell have taken the next step. The secondary looks really good with when the starters are out there. Aiden Hutchinson looks like himself. And then offensively, like, the one issue area that we knew was going to be an issue area is kind of an issue area, right? The offensive line. We're still trying to figure out what exactly where the pieces fit there. Looks like maybe the lines are starting to get an answer there, but it's not going to look great right away in the first week of practice when, the formation of these three guys in the interior are getting shuffled around and, just figuring out where they are and just building chemistry with each other. So it's interesting. And then you throw in the new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, and all that, and put that all together, and it's okay. The defense looks like they're ready to go week one. The offense looks like it could probably use the next month, which they currently have. So I'm not freaking out about anything, but I am a little bit surprised to see how lopsided it is because I would refer to it as lopsided.
Is that a concern right now, though? I think, like, in the heat of the moment, it's July 29th. You're almost kind of expecting it though, right? Like I think you're expecting a bigger hiccup or a bigger acclimation process when you're bringing in, albeit a guy who was here when it was built in John Morton, but like I mean, he left and now he's back, right? Kelvin Shepard's been like in that building. The defense, like getting Aiden Hutchinson back and the way that Aiden Hutchinson has looked this summer, I think is and we'll get to these in a minute, but like that's one of the biggest surprises for me is like that guy came back and he was like ready. Like
Yeah.
he looks like he's ready to be the guy that got off to such a hot start a year ago. And you think about just how much that changes for the defense. And it's been so long since we've seen Aiden Hutchinson, and now it's post injury Aiden Hutchinson. So you had the concerns and the worries, but then like those have been like swept away. Like there is no concern. It's like getting him back. It makes sense when you mentioned those other guys too, Jeremy. That I don't think it's so much a concern now, but I think it's one of those things that I almost kind of expect the defense to be a little bit ahead of the offense at this point.
Yeah, I think that's fair, Ryan, especially with the fact that you also have Dan Skipper playing left tackle right now. Like I
That
think that
factors in.
also I think
Yeah.
that definitely
Yep.
makes things look a little bit more one-sided when I think again, I think Hutch playing to the level that he's playing at, to your point, is still like a big surprise. And I think that's one of the things that stands out to me as well is like I did think there was going to be a little bit more of a ramp up. And honestly, I think having Dan Skipper start things out is probably a good confidence booster in helping him, really trust his body and being able to go out there and do the things that he's doing. Again, no slight at Dan Skipper, but there is a pretty noticeable drop off from him and Taylor Decker. And I think if you at least had Taylor Decker out there, Jeremy, I think this offense would probably look a little more cohesive, at least in terms of the edges. Now, you would
Yep.
definitely still have some of that shuffling going around, on in the interior, but at least for me personally, I think that's where I chalk up some of the slow start for the offense is you just have one too many things changing on that offensive line for it to really look like a cohesive unit.
What is Aiden Hutchinson if not a backup tackle merchant? Right?
Oh
Kidding,
no.
kidding. To be clear, but yeah, no. I mean, it makes a huge deal, and I mean, it also raises like an extra concern at this point, right? Because not that there are a lot of teams out there that can throw in their offensive tackle 3 and be perfectly fine, but that remains, I think, a relative weakness on this roster. And if you're hoping for Giovanni Manu to look, year 1 to year 2 jump to be that OT3, I think you're going to be a little bit disappointed by what we've seen so far. Again, that can change in a month's worth of time. Maybe Gio gets these preseason reps and looks a lot better by the time we get to September. But right now, it does not look like he's ready to assume that role. And so you turn to maybe Dan Skipper, maybe you turn to Jamarco Jones, maybe Mason Miller enters the competition. But like right now, that looks like a significant weakness. And does it make the defense look a lot better than maybe they actually are? I mean, yeah, probably. Aiden Hutchinson like ruined practice today. That's how I would put it. Is like if the offense was looking to put together like long sustained drives, Aiden Hutchinson ruined that plan to where they like went 3 and out more often than they didn't.
Yeah, it really underscores too. The Lions come out of the draft, still think Frank Ragnow's in the middle of that offensive line, and you think drafted Ratledge, drafted Frazier, they have depth, right? And then all that kind of just gets flipped on its ear. And then you look at on defense, like that's the thing that's really coming through is like there's a lot of depth on defense. There's
Yep.
there's some of these like bit time guys that we thought, okay, yeah, special teams contributions, rotational player. I mean, Grant Stewart's making plays and Zach Cunningham's making plays, and like Tyleek Williams is getting in the mix a little bit. And it's like, okay, well, like they have depth in like a lot of places on the defense, whereas on the offense, you sub out starting left tackle Taylor Decker for Dan Skipper, and it's like, uh-oh,
Right.
this is not good.
And
Yeah,
I
I think
just
it's
to
a
add
good.
a quick name, really, Rock Ya-Sin is a guy
Yeah.
that like I went in with very little expectation, probably on the outside looking in, and now I feel like I have to put him on my 53 because he's looking really solid as essentially like a CB3 right now.
That's a really good like transition because exactly where I was going because I think like Rocky Sin is one of those guys that if we were talking about like, hey, who is someone that's on the outside or maybe on the bubble of making this roster that is making a big impression, from everything that I'm hearing, Rocky Sin is probably like the name that's closest to the top of that list. Uh, Ryan, before we talk any more about Rocky Sen, like is he someone that has kind of stood out for you, or do you have someone else in mind that also is kind of like on the bubble, but definitely making a case to make this final roster?
Uh, Linebacker like Zach Cunningham. I think Zach Cunningham has really, again, you talk about a veteran, much like Rockyason, who's played in a few different spots, and Zach Cunningham has played in a few different spots and winds up in Detroit. And you think, well, it's a veteran camp body. It's a guy who can play with the twos and threes. It's a guy who, yeah, there's some special teams upside, but like is he really going to make it in front of, an extra defensive back or, keep an extra, interior offensive lineman or something like that, right? Like that might be on the chopping block when it comes to you can only keep so many special teams aces. Zach Cunningham, I feel like, is playing his way onto the roster because I mean, he benefited from having some Alex Anzalone hold in, like he
Right.
he really got a chance to, hey, I'm here to compete, and I think Jeremy, like from everything I've read, that's another guy that it's hard to keep him off the roster because this coaching staff preaches accountability, preaches like trust, and like if you have a veteran guy, I think that they end up sometimes siding with that player.
Right. And what did they have to do last year at the linebacker position? They had to try to haul in some veterans late. They had to get
Jamal
Jamal
Adams.
Adams to play linebacker, right? Like, and Zach is not someone who is incapable of special teams. He has a pretty long history of doing it before he became a starter. He's doing drills right now and looks in place. Is he as good as maybe someone like, I don't know, Trevor Nowaski at
Anthony
special
Pittman.
teams? Anthony Pittman, probably not. But I think he's past the like the bar of threshold of you're not a liability on special teams. Plus, you're bringing us some depth on defense. That, yeah, I mean, I would probably have him, Zach Cunningham, on the roster right now if I had to make a 53.
Yeah, that's a guy that I initially had out, and I think over the last week and a bit, like I've had to change my opinion on that. Just in hearing how you and Eric have been talking about, again, specifically how Ryan was saying, like him filling in for Alex Anzalone during that sit-in. I think that at least has definitely changed my mind on him. But I think the same thing could be said for Rocky Sin, someone that I was very high on when the Lions first signed him. But I also did have to accept the reality that a guy that has bounced around this much and with a cornerback room that seemed to be fairly set at the top two corner spots, plus having a viable backup in his Rakestraw Jr. as well, like the making the roster was going to be tough for Rocky said, but I think he too is kind of benefiting in the same way that Zach Cunningham has been with Alex Anzalone not being available. Rocketson seems to be benefiting from Khalil Dorsey not being available, and he's really taking advantage of that opportunity.
And Ennis too, right? Ennis has barely played in any team drills since he went down with early in camp with a rib or chest injury. And even guys like Terrion and DJ Reed, they've been kind of in and out of the lineup as well. So they've really relied a lot on Rockison, not just with the twos, but very often with the ones, and he's hanging in there. And if there's one thing we've talked about a lot at camp, it's how good this wide receiver room is right now, top to bottom. And if Rockison is hanging with those dudes, I think you can feel pretty confident that if he has to play in a pinch, that it's going to be a little bit better than maybe some of the guys that they've had to trot out there in past years. Well, they're, I'm not even going to say their names. We don't need to bury the dead here. But I didn't expect to feel that good about someone like Rockison, and now we're at a point where I'm like, okay, even if like Ennis isn't ready to go at the beginning of the year, and maybe he is, maybe he isn't. He's still practicing. He just looks like he's laboring pretty tough through some injuries right now. I'd be okay with Rockison being CB3 to start the year on the outside.
Yeah, I think you could have like much worse selections. Again, not to bring up any names of people who have been here in the past that have scarred this fan base for one reason or another, possibly having a football bounce off of their face. But like, I do think Rockison, like you said, I think he's someone that has the intangibles that this coaching staff definitely, looks for in an outside corner. And so it's going to be interesting to see if he can continue this trajectory throughout the rest of camp, because I think that's another thing that I have to constantly remind myself of whenever it's, this player's playing really well or this player's not playing so well, is that we're only into the second week of training camp. There is still so much more to be, had. And quick plug for, Pride of Detroit Direct, but like I heard you and Eric talk about today, like just looking back at where you had certain guys last year at this point in the offseason versus where they ended up by the end of training camp, like that's a real thing, right, Ryan? That like you kind of can't get too swept up into where a player is currently, whether they are, firmly on the roster or quote unquote on the bubble.
Yeah, I mean the ebb and flow is wild, right? And you see it with injuries, and you see it with guys like Anzalone holding in. We talked about that a bit. Another name that kind of surprises me, Jeremy's got him on the in right now, is Mojo Norris. Like, walk us through that a little bit. Like, how has he been impressing you in camp, and like how do you see him fitting in?
Yeah, I mean it's the versatility first and foremost. Where I'm actually been surprised lately because Eric Hallett has kind of been repping ahead of him, and he's another one that's like, okay, you're on my radar now. But Maurice Norris to me is a guy that has shown he can be pretty adept at both playing nickel and safety. And I know he got thrown out of practice last week for being too aggressive when you couldn't tackle yet. But
that can't be too bad of a thing.
Right. That's something where, like, I feel like in Dan Campbell, in the moment, he has to kick you out of practice, but then, like, immediately he runs inside and be like, hey, I kind of like it. I kind of like it. I like it. Like, just you were a practice early. And so, like, another guy who's good on special teams, another guy who is aggressive, who's physical, who shows both man coverage abilities and zone dropping. I like everything he does, and he's been in the system for a year. I know he's close to some of the young defensive backs on this team, so he's good for the locker room. He's shown enough on defense for me to think this team can start to trust him a little bit with roles beyond special teams. And it's interesting because I feel that way about several defensive backs. It's a crowded room because of someone like Eric Hallett, who went from safety now to playing outside corner and nickel. For a guy like Khalil Dorsey, who we haven't even seen made the field yet, but we know that they really, really love him on special teams, and he's played a little bit outside corner for this team in a way that makes me think they aren't going to give up on that. You throw in Dan Jackson, who we really haven't talked about a lot in camp because I think the defensive development is slow, but he's superb on special teams. Lauren Strickland, Ian Kennelly, like, these are guys that all bring a little bit of that versatility, bring a lot big of those special teams. So it's like, who is going to separate themselves in the preseason probably is really going to figure out where things landed with the 53-man roster.
You're doing a really good job of like leading me into the next question, because that is kind of like the next thing I was going to ask, which is like, if you look at the team like position by position group, what is a position that like is kind of hard to project in terms of like what that group is going to look like transitioning into the regular season? And for me, it is very much like the secondary, right? It is the corners and the DBs. And like, I feel like it's a question that we ask almost every offseason of like, okay, how many DBs are the Lions going to carry this year? And I think it's very much that question right now, because you do have so many guys, Ryan, that can play either safety or nickel and outside. Is there another position group that you look at that you're just like, I'm not quite sure like how this group is going to shake out, who's going to be on the roster and who's possibly going to be, hoping to get on the practice squad, once the training camp season ends?
Well, with what we learned from Graham Glasgow, what's going to happen with the interior of the offensive line? Like, what's the calculus now in terms of who they see as their backup center, right? If Graham is going to be the starting center, does that prioritize a guy like Kingsley Aguakin, Natane Moody? Like, is that guy, is he a person who fits in a Washika? Like, I mean, Miles Frazier's dealing with what he's dealing with. So it's like, there's injuries, there's positional shuffling, Jeremy.
Yeah.
But with the Graham news, there is like more clarity, but it needs to like play itself out now. Like, what they're probably looking for and who they want to be in those spots, but like, you still have to win that job.
Yeah, no question. And they're obviously really happy with how things have worked out so far with Graham. Dan was in his press conference on Tuesday saying like, he's looking pretty good at center, and looking pretty good to a point where we might stick with pretty good. But yeah, like the plan behind that is a little bit more up in the air, right? Like, is the plan then to make Tate Ratledge your backup center and starting right guard? Is he going to be both? Is he going to serve as both? Like, if Graham gets injured, do you just slide Tate Ratledge over and slide in a veteran at right guard? Or do you carry another center on your 53 and on your 47, your game day 47? And if so, who is that going to be? Because it's basically been a 3-man rotation all of training camp. Kingsley Aguakin has been the first guy in, Michael Neese after that, and then Cologne after that. And that's another one where it's just like, it's probably going to be whoever wins in the in preseason. Like, who is a guy that you're not getting a ton of reps as center 3 and even sometimes center 2. But if you're getting a half of football, that's a lot of tape to go out on.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm with you. Like, beyond that, I'm also like, okay, well, who are the backup guards going to be? Are you going to go with both veterans in someone like Natane Muti and
Coyote.
Coyote Oshika?
Mhm.
Does Miles Frazier make the roster, or is he going to start on the PUP list?
On the pup list, yeah. And even Kingsley, like something interesting about him that I read from observations is he's getting reps at guard. Like he's
Yeah.
playing a little guard, so they're
Yep.
moving him around at least a little bit to see if he has the positional versatility. And I think ultimately, Miko, that's probably the way that if you are along the interior of the offensive line, that's how you make yourself indispensable.
That's a really good point. And I think the thing that's interesting about that is like normally when we talk about this roster and trying to make yourself indispensable, we typically talk about like special teams, right? And I think that's an area where it's weird that I've actually been kind of like focused over there. And I think it's because we talk about so many guys, whether it's on the defense or even some of these receivers, where it's like they have some special teams versatility. And it's like, how is that going to shake up? Because I think in years past, if you saw a guy and you were like, man, he's close but not quite there just yet, like he'll probably just make a splash on special teams, be a gunner, be on the return team or something like that. That's something, Jeremy, where I'm like, I genuinely don't know what the Lions are doing on special teams in terms of who's going to be gunners, who's going to be on the return team. Like it's a phase of football that I think doesn't get everyone super excited, but it's still very important for this team to figure out.
And more important than ever, right? We went from like what 20 to 30% return rate last year, and the expectation is to be well over 50 this year. That's we're talking double the kick returns in this league year coming up, probably even more than that, to be quite honest. And so you are going to have to figure out those spots. It is going to be the ultimate separator. And I don't obviously have a lot of clarity too, because you have some guys that you think are going to be key special teamers who just aren't out there right now, and Khalil Dorsey and Sione Vaki. And so I can't even sit here and tell you with any sort of confidence who the kick returners are going to be right now. And they can come from several different positions. It could be a running back, could be a wide receiver. Apparently, it could be Grant Stewart, a linebacker.
Could be a linebacker.
He's getting some reps there. And so, yeah, it's really fascinating. And, we're paying attention to who's out there on gunner teams and things like that. And a guy like Dominic Lovett has stood out there, which probably gives him the early edge for that wide receiver 6 spot. But there's a lot in flux. You're going to, they haven't really run a single live kickoff or punt return rep preseason. That's what you get that for. You're going to get a lot of it. And so that's another fascinating thing to look into. The one other position I want to throw into of like, hey, I don't know how this is going to shake out at all. Defensive line. And it's simply an injury thing because we don't know when these guys are coming back. And so we don't know if they're going to start on the PUP list, on the NFI list, if they're going to, be on the 53, but not going to be able to play, because we just found out today, Josh Paschal certainly sounds like he's not going to be ready for week 1, but they want him practicing in early September so that he can be ready a few weeks later. In order to do that, he has to make the 53. You can't keep him on NFI that way. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to practice the first 4 weeks of the season. So if Paschal is in, but not ready, that means you have to keep another edge. So does that give a spot to, I don't know, Agude Lynn Ukwu? And where does that spot come from? And then you talk about defensive tackle. You have Wingo as a guy you're not sure when he's going to come back. And
Pat O'Connor played his way onto the roster for this exact reason. Like Levi's injury and Paschal's injury, it's like Pat O'Connor.
Yep. And so there's a couple of guys kind of waiting in the wing. Waiting in the wing.
Waiting in the wing.
I didn't even mean to do that.
I love that.
But like Keith Cooper is a guy who started to stand out a little bit. Raekwon Williams has kind of jumped Broderick Martin in the nose tackle race, which is not great. And then again, like there's all those kind of edge guys that are just like, can you keep Hassanin if you're not sure he's going to be ready in week 1? And Josh Paschal, like I don't think they'd cut Hassanin, but he's just kind of in this weird precarious situation where you might have to rely on him in week 1 because of some of these guys that aren't going to be ready.
Miko, you might have to try him out at kick return, is what Jeremy's saying. Like he's got to make himself indispensable.
Justify his roster spot through kick return.
Hey, listen, I think you have to do anything possible to keep Ahmed Hassanin on this roster. But again, that's just my own personal bias kind of peeking through right there. But one thing that's not my personal bias is how good Righteous Felon Beef Jerky is. And I'm not just saying that because I have to do a read. I'm saying that because your boy's out here slanging
Yes.
meat. All right.
There he is.
I went out here, I went to righteousfelon.com and I got me a nice size order of some beef jerky. I got beef jerky, I got meat sticks, I got the whole thing over here at the house. So Righteous Felon, the Pride of Detroit podcast is brought to you by Righteous Felon Craft Jerky. It's the jerky that fuels the Pride of Detroit POD cast. Each 2-ounce bag of jerky has 16 to 20 grams of protein and each stick has 8 grams. Trust me, if it's good enough for the Lions, it's good enough for you too. Righteous Felon is based in Westchester, Pennsylvania. They use locally sourced all natural black Angus beef and prides itself on superior quality, revolutionary branding, and unique flavors that go beyond the stereotypical jerky offering. Guys, I got bootleg barbecue, I got Maryland inspired roe, I got Soul Survivor. I didn't listen. My favorite jerky, honestly, from them is the Foul Capone. They didn't have that, so I just had to go with the meat sticks, and I got so many of these. Like, I'm gonna have no problem hitting my protein goals every day because I'm gonna have so much jerky stocked up in the house.
Well, that's what I want to know. Like, I love the jerky, but I haven't tried the Foul Capone meat stick. Like,
It's
not,
great. I've had
yeah.
it once before. I've had that one. I also have like I think it's like the taco meat one.
The street
Both
taco,
are fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, the street taco one, absolutely fantastic. So if you go to righteousfelon.com and use the promo code POD20, like I did at checkout, you can actually get 20% off your order. That's promo code POD20 at righteousfelon.com. When we come back, we're going to jump into segment 2, where we're going to be looking ahead to the Lions preseason game in the Hall of Fame game against the Los Angeles Chargers and talk a few more superlatives going into that game. So we will see you guys right after this.
You getting some high ratings on that transition, on that segue.
People are regrading you, like, because you just kept on getting better, which is like a great lesson to learn. Like,
That's
you
right.
can't grade the guy until he's done.
Right. Don't publish your Detroit Lions preseason game 1 report cards until the fourth quarter is over.
That's fair.
Unless you're Rod Beard. Hashtag start writing.
What's up, live audience? I saw a lot of chatter on YouTube at the start of the stream wondering if we are live or not. We are. But when we're on this seat, as you can see in the top right. I know my did. We're on air. We'll address chat during our breaks. This is our break. Just saying that for anybody who might be new to the stream. This is where we answer your questions, talk some Lions football, talk some not Lions football. What you hear there in that first segment, that's going to be on the audio podcast. We'll have a second segment, which will also be on the audio podcast. And in the meantime, we'll just say hello, hang out, thank some of our subscribers on Twitch and YouTube. And 30, 40 hour, we'll get back into it. Usually very dependent on how talkative we are. And I feel like it's been a little bit.
Food talk takes.
That's right.
Depending on what food topic we jump into or not.
I got some in the bank if we want to. Let me just tell you. But first of all, let me thank all the people who subscribed. You maybe saw the alerts pop up on the screen during that first segment. D Parente, thank you for the 27 months subscribed on Twitch. Just says, let's go. Darth Tater, 26 months subscribed. Disney Dreamer, thank you for subscribing on YouTube. Reno the Dad, thank you for the follow. I think I might know who you are. Space Kataz, thank you for the 42 months subscribed on Twitch. Says, boom, get subbed, nerds. Okay, I don't know why you got to come at us like that, but okay.
Dang, okay.
Sundog, 31 months subscribed on Twitch. His first opportunity of the year to engage in degeneracy this Thursday. What's the parlay looking like, Ryan?
I can't condone this. I can't.
I was gonna say, please don't tell me you gamble on preseason football. Like we might actually have to have an intervention.
The under.
I feel like I've had some people reach out to me, either DMs or email, like trying to get, like, who's gonna play when, and I'm like, why do you want to know? Because they're not. I look at the profile and it's not like, oh, you're a Lions fan, you're just curious. It's like, oh no, you're doing like daily fantasy stuff. I am not going to help you. I'm sorry. One, I'm not going to help you for 2 reasons. One, because I think you're crazy for doing any of that. 2, I don't want to be on the hook in case I get something wrong.
Both good reasons to steer clear of providing gambling advice to people who are looking to gamble on the Hall of Fame game.
That being said, no, I'm just kidding.
The under. That being said, the under.
So I had a question because I saw that Justin posted the unofficial depth chart.
Yes.
So has Levi been like officially released?
Levi is on the reserve pup list, which means he's not part of the 90-man roster, but he is still under contract with the team.
Okay, because I was wondering because Tyleek has his number, and I was like,
Yes. That happened a while ago. They
okay,
switched, and I
yeah,
remember it being a little bit of a news story, and we obviously didn't know why at the time. And I'm even in retrospect, I guess it's not 100% clear if we knew that Levi was done for the year at the time. I think chances are probably pretty good that they did. Um,
But we didn't know for
but
sure.
we didn't know for sure.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I was like, that was like one of the few like of the things that actually stood out to me on that depth chart. I was like,
Yeah.
91.
Right.
That wasn't his number.
Dude, I'm still getting used to some weird number. I'm still not used to Terrion at 6. That is a weird one for me. Ennis at
hmm
9 is a super weird one for me. Um, trying to think what
Who's
else is going to just
uh
look weird for fans that haven't seen this yet.
JMO at 1?
JMO at 1 is and Gibbs at
Nah,
0.
I feel like JMO at one looks just like right.
It
Like
does
I
look.
see
I
that
think so
every
too.
time on like in the videos, and I'm like, that's right. 6 does trip me up though, but it's only because it was Iffy's number, and
Right.
so every time I see it,
Right.
I have to remind myself that that's not Iffy.
Yeah.
I wish JMO was still 9. I like 9 a lot for him. It looked really good.
Um, that's.
God,
I
he's
think
been
that's.
so many
Those are really
numbers.
the only numbers that are going to trip people up. I think it just takes a while
Yeah,
for some of the new guys. Like there's something about Maurice Norris in 26. I just can't lock into my brain. I'm just like, oh, it's Louis Delmas.
I don't like Dan Jackson at 28. Again, I just keep
You
remembering
too
Quandre
locked
at that
in.
number,
Oh,
and
I was going to say Jamar Jefferson.
nah, I just remember Quandre having that number, and
When
it's
did
like,
Quandre have 28?
didn't he have 28
I
like
don't know.
before?
I think he had a bunch of different numbers, and I don't. Maybe it was
I think
28.
I
I
think
could have
was
sworn he had 28 when he was
I
here.
feel like he was single digits at one point here too.
He was 6 for the Seahawks, right?
Seahawks. He was
Yeah.
28 in Detroit.
He was 28. Wow, I don't remember
For
that
some
at
reason
all.
I thought I remembered him as single digit, but you're right, it was when he was in Seattle.
Yeah, I
That's
had to
crazy.
check that because I was like, am I misremembering that? Like, nah.
Free agent Quandre Dix.
Redeemed cowboy hat. All right, I can don the cowboy hat. I got it somewhere around here. Um, I, I'll say this about Tisla, Detroit fan man. I came in with expectations that have been subverted with him because so much of his work was done out of the slot. You expect to see a lot of like middle of the field crosser type stuff that he really succeeds on. Where he's really stood out the most is the opposite. It's the stuff on the outside. It's the contested catch. It's the jump balls. I would say he's not getting the separation that maybe you want from an X receiver that has his athletic toolkit. But the fact that he's adding that to his repertoire when I thought maybe he was more limited as just an inside the numbers kind of guy, that's a good sign. I would also like to see him do some of the more inside the numbers stuff here in Lions camp, and it's starting to come along, but I think people have gotten the wrong impression a little bit about how camp is going based on Tim Patrick saying that he's kind of sucks right now and he needs to be playing better, and then you see like the 3 Tesla highlights and you're like, wow, Tesla must be killing it and he must be sucking. Like, no, the Tesla highlights you saw were kind of, I don't want to say the only ones, but like the big ones. It's been a little fewer and far between those moments than it has been with Tim Patrick.
Say they're highlights. They're highlights for a reason, right?
Right.
Like they get posted on social media because it was a great rep and it was an awesome play. I
Yeah.
I guess my thing is I'm not sure if the beat has asked this question. I'm sure maybe they've come around to asking it, which I mean, I don't know how open and free Kelvin Shepard's going to talk about something like this, but like how much they still want to run like press man, and if that's still a huge part of their identity when it comes to
Yeah.
their cornerbacks, because in reading some observations about, Rocky Sin like being a really good like press guy outside
Yeah.
and giving some guys some trouble in some reps. It's like, okay, well that's like the good stuff that like Tesla really has to work on, right? Like that was a concern about JMO, was like, how is he getting separation off the line if a guy gets hands on him, right? And it's like, well, we've seen how JMO's been
Yeah.
training to get around that slight frame of his. And if Tesla starts having good reps against physical corners on the outside and figuring out ways to win and create separation, then
Yeah.
off to the races. But that's going to take time.
Yeah. And also to be clear, he's almost exclusively repping with the 2s and 3s to Slaws, where Tim Patrick and I would say Khalif Raymond are essentially splitting 1s and 2s pretty evenly.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I would expect.
Yeah. Darth Hippo, thank you for the 46 months. It's been a while. Good to see you, Tony. RC Vader, 35 months, says, Game week, let's go. Welcome to the squad, Miko.
Appreciate it.
And then Uncle T Rav, 28 months subscribed on Twitch as well. I'm going to go get my cowboy hat. Be right back.
Yeehaw. Oh, Miko. Today's Tuesday.
It is. And it's been like the longest Tuesday of my life.
Has it?
Not to get on stream and like complain about my day job, but
But,
it's been one of those.
that can happen though, Like I always argue that I think Tuesdays are my least favorite day of the week.
That's fair, honestly, because Mondays, I think everyone just kind of accepts that like they're just not going to be great.
And everybody's getting back in the swing of things, right? You get to Tuesday and it's like, is it Friday yet?
Yeah. Wednesday is like okay, we're middle of the week, we're almost there.
We've made it.
And then Thursday is just Friday Eve. Like you're just like you're slowly starting to mentally check out. And then Friday you just kind of like coast.
Yeah. Yep.
Week talk, huh?
Week talk. Ranking
talk.
days of the week.
Do we have a list cast? Is that what we want to do?
Oh, that dank ample. Yeah, go here, list cast of top 5 days coming.
Oh, there it is. From
Oh man.
Rank the days of the week.
I think I can do mine like right off the top of my head.
Okay, let's hear it.
It's changed though since I've like turned 30.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Pre-30, Friday, number 1 day of the week. Post-30, Saturday, number 1 day of the week.
Yeah.
Saturday is the number 1 day of the week because like you get done on like with work on Friday, you get done and it's like, cool, I have the rest of the weekend, but like I just don't have the energy to like go out and do something like most oftentimes. It's like I'm just going to decompress and then Saturday I'll get up early and I'll just start attacking the day and just doing whatever I want to get into. So Saturday, Friday, Thursday, Sunday, Monday.
Tuesday and Wednesday don't even make the list.
It was just top 5 days.
It did just say rank the days of the week, but
Well, then
we typically only do
those
5.
two go last.
Okay.
Yeah, if I had to do mine, it would be Saturday, Friday, Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday. Now that you say it, like Tuesday does suck.
Yeah, Tuesday sucks. Tuesday's the worst.
That's fair.
Tuesday's awful. The only thing that's good about Tuesday is that I'm here right now with you guys. Like talking about
I was gonna say, and like I was gonna
this
say,
isn't
that's
our
not even
normal day.
probably, like, yeah, I was gonna say, like once the regular season starts, like it's not even gonna be that day. So then then it's really useless.
Tuesday also gets abused by Thursday games. Like Tuesday's like the abuse day. I hate what Thursday games do to Tuesday specifically.
I'm going to go off the board here and say that Sunday is my favorite day of the week, and it's not even football related. It's my favorite week in the off season as well. And that's because Saturday to me is kind of like chores during the afternoon, maybe like go out and do something Saturday night. Sunday is just, I clear my schedule on Sunday. I want to be lazy as hell on Sunday. It's lazy Sunday for a reason. I love just having a day of the week where I can do nothing. And that is almost always Sunday for me.
I was just scrolling through the chat. I was like, did somebody redeem a Ned Flanders cosplay from Jeremy, putting Sunday as the number one day of the week?
It certainly doesn't have to do with that either.
Diddly do. You don't got to do diddly do.
Saturdays is next, though, then Friday. I kind of don't hate Mondays, though. Is that weird?
I don't hate Mondays. No, I don't hate Mondays.
I like getting back into the routine of things.
Routines are good for people.
Yeah, especially us old heads.
Like, it's like, I think again, because Ryan really kind of shined a light on how bad Tuesday is, like, I don't think I hate Mondays as much.
Yeah.
Like, it is kind of like a good restart to, like, everything. And again, to not sound like a meathead, like, it's a good restart for, like, my workout week, where it's like, okay, like, I'm back on Monday. Yeah. Everything's gonna be.
You get a sense of purpose on a Monday, you know?
Yeah.
You do.
If you maybe spent the previous 24 hours doing absolutely nothing and feeling like a slob, Monday serves a purpose.
Monday is a swift kick in the keister. But I think the thing that hurts Monday, honestly, the most are the Sunday scaries.
Sure.
Like, and that's why I have Sunday kind of rated so low as well,
fair.
though. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, Lions bye week, red zone, Sunday. It's the end of October. Like, I can wear a sweatshirt and shorts outside. I mean, put it in my veins. But, like, I don't know.
No, it's like cattle snacks. This like Sunday nights, I think, is what like dumbs down or makes Sundays like not as great, right? It's just like Sunday, like the actual day can be fine, right? But it's like as you get closer, like or later in the evening, it's like this isn't great.
And it's funny how like the NFL broadcasts were like the score of like knowing like what part of your day like leading up, like, man, I got to go to school on Monday. Like you hear that, Sunday night football chime in and it's like, I'm happy.
It's like Pavlovian.
Yeah. Carrie Underwood has sent me. I'm great. But also I gotta finish that essay that I don't have done yet.
I was gonna say and also Jeremy, like Sunday is for me is the opposite. Like I'm not as lazy on Sundays as I wish I was, as I probably should be. Not even say wish I was, as I probably should be. Like I do all that on Saturday where I just like I'm not doing anything productive. Sunday is the day where it's like, oh crap, I really do actually need to cut the grass, and I really do need to go to the store and pick up some groceries. Like probably should have done this on Saturday.
Yeah, you're more of a procrastinator on the weekend.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That makes sense. I think a lot of people, including myself, fall victim to that. All right, I think we nailed the list cast.
Check.
Uncle T Rav, thank you for the 28 months subscribed on Twitch. I may have already said that. You get to double it up. Kylo Den, that is a new one. Thank you for the 10 months subscribed on Twitch. I also have a request to see Zazu. Miko, I don't know. Do you have pets?
I do.
Would you ever bring them on stream?
I don't know. It depends on like what kind of mood he's in. I think it depends on what kind of mood he's in. Dash has been fallen victim to, good eating, and so he's a little bit on the heavier side.
Okay. I'm testing the waters to see if we can add a new channel point redemption at some point. You don't have to give an answer now. I put you on the spot.
If we ever end up, and also like again, full transparency, like the kids aren't like super thrilled with. He's just too big for them now, and so it's one of those things where like we're kind of looking to relocate him if possible. So
gotcha.
It's kind of sad in that way as well.
Fair enough.
LJP rough. Good eating, much like me.
I don't feel like it like crept up on us too. Like I went to so he's like a husky shepherd mix, and so like just hella fur. And I was like, bro, like you need a trim. So I went to like, trim them down, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is all you. Like this is I thought this was fluff. This is all flubber.
Yeah. Oh, Zazu.
I feel like it's been a minute since like I've seen
It
Zazu on the
has.
stream too.
It has been a little bit.
Yeah, you're looking like I'm trying to compare you to an NFL player right now.
Tim Patrick.
No, no, he's not
He
there
called you
yet.
old, buddy. Did you hear that? He called you so
No,
old.
I'm trying.
You
I'm
can't
trying
keep
to
up
find
with
a
the young
seasoned.
pups.
I'm trying to find a seasoned guy. Not necessarily a veteran, but just a seasoned guy.
The little season guy. He's having a good day because it was a pet adoption day at Lions Camp, and so there was a bunch of free toys, and I brought him back some things. I'm a little bit afraid that he ate a squeaker right now. So we're on squeaker poop alert.
Give him a hug. You'll find out.
Squeeze the stomach real hard.
He
JT
is little Anzalone, Sundog. You're right. Anzalone Jace.
JT Sam, what did you do? There's been another list cast request. What do you want, JT? By the way, didn't get a single pet Zazu! Exclamation point. Rude.
See, even the audience is falling. Rank them all.
Sam, rank the months. Okay, but we have to do 5 because that's the list cast. So like we're not doing all 12, but we'll do 5.
Shout out Tenshi over on YouTube. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate you.
Actually, I have to like write these down because
this is tricky.
I got mine.
Oh wow. Okay, let's hear them.
Yeah. Five is May.
Okay.
I think you start hitting a sweet spot in terms of like NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. Like things are in full swing. Weather's getting better. 4, I'm gonna go April for all the same reasons, but like you can start like you get that first rush of like I don't know, you play like disc golf like during like even like colder seasons, but like in April, like like now we're feeling good that we're outside and it feels like we can go out and breathe fresh air. 5 May, 4 April, 3 December.
Okay.
It definitely changed when kids became part of the equation and then you realize who Christmas is for. And like it just kind of makes the whole month. 3 December, 2 November, because it has my favorite holiday, and
Voting Day?
October. Yes.
October number 1.
October number 1. Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna have a very similar list, but kind of like inversed. Because I think
I am upset that I left September off, but September does kind of piss me off in Michigan sometimes with how it gets hot.
It's too hot.
Too hot.
It's already too hot, and it's not even August yet.
It's July 29th.
I feel like I've made a transition in my life to becoming a fall is my favorite month to becoming a spring is my favorite month.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
And so, yeah.
Does that mean you have to move
it's
west
surprising
or move
me
south soon?
I don't know. They're neck and neck, to be clear. And it's been fall for a while because I do love hoodie weather. I do love just like the first day of starting to put your hoodie on. I love the cider mill. I love football, obviously. So it's got a lot of things working in its favor. But I'm also starting to enjoy my off season a little bit more now that the regular season is becoming longer and longer. And so when you hit that March, April, May, like I'm going out and playing disc golf more. I'm getting a little more free time. I'm starting to like walk the dog outside after. I mean, it can be tough. Winters can be tough in Michigan, and not even just because it's cold outside, but because it's so gray, and I just don't want to be outside.
As a
Yeah.
pet owner too, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not fun taking Zazu out
No.
when it's
Right.
2 degrees outside.
Right.
Yeah.
So all of this is to say, I think I'm going to have December 5, November
Okay.
4, May 3, October 2, April 1.
Kind of going back and forth there. I
Yeah.
like the alternating of
Wow.
the fall and spring.
April's also my birthday month, so I'm kind of cheating there.
Ooh, inflated.
Yeah. I'm just throwing a little bit of ego in there.
Low bias. Low bias. It's okay. Really, it's
my
still like
my list is full of bias.
I was gonna say, Jeremy, your they should be. It's your list. It's really like the your favorite time has to be like 2 days after the draft is over,
Yes.
right?
That's
Like,
why I
whatever
immediately
that
took 2
month is,
vacations
yeah.
this year.
Whatever that month is, like that's
Yeah.
those 30 days. Miko, number 5.
Okay, so I'm the only one that picked a summer month, and I picked June. June comes in at 5 for me for a couple reasons.
Yeah.
School wraps up for the girls. Dance wraps up for the girls, which is if you have
Time consuming. Is that a word for it?
it is a gauntlet. Like, and I don't even have to do most. Like, Khalil is the one that has to like run the girls back and forth through competitions and getting them changed and stuff. But like from March to June, I don't have a Saturday. Like Saturdays are not my own anymore. And so June is awesome because school wraps up, dance competition wraps up. I think we might have like nationals, which I think we have this year. Uh, and then typically like that's when we finally go like on our family vacation. So like I always look forward to June because some things are ending and then we always get to do family vacation. Uh, 4 is October, for I think for the same reason that you got. Like I'm a fall baby myself, so like I just love like prime just hoodie season and like sweats, and it's like socially acceptable to wear them out everywhere. Um, and I can stop cutting my grass. Like by October, like lawn care has like pretty much ceased. Like I don't have to like at this point in time, like I'm just gonna roll the dice that I'm not gonna have someone knock on my door and be like, hey, you have to cut your grass. Like once October rolls around, I give up. Um Also like cider mills, Halloween is fun. Again, seeing the girls kind of like get to do trick or treating and stuff like that. Kalila goes insane for Halloween. It's ridiculous. So, um, 3 is May. Uh, Again, I think for some of the same reasons, like it's that nice part of spring where it's like it's still somewhat hoodie. Like it's kind of getting back to like early fall where like, oh, I can start to wear sweats and hoodies and I don't have to be like super bundled up. But it's also like there's some sunshine here and there. I'm also cheating because it's also like May 1st is my anniversary. So that's also why it has to be top 3. Otherwise, I feel like my wife would be like, "Oh, so you just don't care about us and our love." Um,
That's why I have October number 1, Miko. So it's all good.
John, you've
2 is-
clearly never lived in Florida. Really quick, just
Yeah.
our friend Bearded Blevins. If you think Florida is perfect weather year round, you have never
Oh my-
lived there in the summer.
Nope. It's nice to visit. Like you can tolerate it for like a couple weeks, but like hell no.
I have been by the ocean. You want it to rain every single day of your existence? Live near the ocean. Sorry.
Florida literally like I literally got off the plane once from Florida and literally like every bit of moisture was sucked out of my body. Like stepping from the airport to outside, and I was like, oh, this type of humidity, we're back again.
Dry
Okay.
SpongeBob.
I'll get there, John.
Seriously. Except like no, like that's the other thing too. Like you're not like it doesn't dry you out. It's just like all the moisture is on the outside of your body that should be inside. So it's like it's gross. Like it's anything. It's just like yeah. People who have been to Florida know. All right, 2 is November. Favorite holiday, or one of my favorite holidays. Best food on the planet. Also my oldest birthday. So, you know.
Nice.
And then September is my number 1 because it's my birthday. And it's just the greatest month.
All right. I like it. Variety
I
of
thought you-
answers there.
I thought you were gonna say that September was your favorite, Miko, because you're a huge Green Day fan.
Wouldn't
Nah.
October be his favorite if he was a big Green Day fan?
There you go.
Wouldn't it be Earth, Wind, and Fire? Be one of my favorite if I was talking about September.
Is that comedian? He's done doing the
Yeah, Demi. I'm not going to pronounce it right.
yeah. Those are always so good.
Those are very good videos. Let me catch up on alerts here. Austin Mammoth, 35 months, says, is Sheriff Jeremy a system POD cast member? What does that mean? I'm a system quarterback, a system podcast co-host.
System of a Down.
Wake up. Dude, I want to do some SOAD karaoke like right now.
That's what I knew you were gonna say right after that. I knew that'd give you the karaoke itch immediately.
Bearded Blevins, our good friend John, 47 months subscribed to the channel, says subbed for the same number of months as Goff's longest run this upcoming season. In what direction?
Hopefully not backwards. But a 47-yard run.
Hold on. With that, I don't need. Please, no one in chat look this up. I'm going to look this up, and I want you guys to guess. Jared Goff's longest career run in the NFL.
Career long run. I know if he gets a 47-yard run this year, we can stop all the trick plays left with Ben Johnson discourse. If Jared Goff has a 47-yard run, John Morton is doing his job.
I mean, it's either that or like everybody on the defense pulled a hammy at the exact same time, like every last person.
It's like a Hail Mary that he just decides, I'm not going to throw it. I'm just going to run.
Yeah. For the stats.
Your only hint that I will give on Jared Goff's longest run is that it happened in 2021. So his first year in Detroit.
In Detroit?
First year in Detroit.
Man.
Can you... It's not going to help, but like, can you tell me the game that it happened in? Because I feel like I might remember it.
Let me see if I can pull that up. Let me look at his game log from 2021. Mathematically, it had to be the second game at Green Bay. Because
that doesn't help. Because all I remember is like
they lost that game 35-17. I have zero recollection of this game.
I have no recollection of that game.
Quintus Cephas led off the scoring to give the Lions a 7-0 lead 5 minutes into the first quarter.
Oh, why, thank you. I'm going to say Jared Goff scampered for a 22-yard gain.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure if I should Price is Right you and just 21 yards.
21.
No, but honestly, the first number that came to mind was 23.
It was 26 yards.
Oh.
26 yards.
Can we pull, I was going to say we should pull the play up on NFL Plus.
We'll probably get demonetized if we do that.
Yeah.
Actually, if we watch the all 22, maybe not. I haven't pulled up NFL Pro in a while. Not worth it?
That's finicky. I'm saying it's finicky. Like, you just never know with all 22. Morgan and I have definitely run that roulette a few times where it's like, oh, we're good. And then like 3 months later, it's like, hey, that video that you guys did 3 months ago, demonetized.
Really? That's so dumb.
Yeah.
We'll maybe we'll pull it up later. But
I'm just gonna have this running in the background, but I have the week 2 highlights from that game from YouTube.
Do you think
I feel like that
I don't
has
even
to
think
be part of the highlights?
I don't think it's gonna be highlights.
It's a career long run.
I want to know like in what context like that happened in, because like I have a really hard time seeing how he made it past 8 yards.
Do you know when it happened, Jeremy?
No. You want me to pull up the game log?
No, I got it. I'll look it up. I got it. I like looking for this stuff.
ALI'd, no way. Uncle T-Rab, thank you for the 100 bits, says, what's one backup on the team that you think should be a starter right now / new starter to make the biggest jump? who's someone that is currently a backup that I think will eventually become a starter? Is that what the question is, or should be? What is that, Drew Falcon? If it was in Green Bay, was it rainy or something, and no one could get traction to get an angle on him?
I'll tell you what, though. Lions scored in the opening drive of this game.
I was saying, Quintus Cephas, put him up. So Drew Falcon does have a link to it right there.
Of the run?
I don't think I'm going to play it on stream just so that we don't get demonetized on YouTube. But I am going to watch it. I'll throw it in the chat for YouTube as well. I think that should go to both.
It's one backup on the team.
I'm
like really trying to think.
Yeah, there it is. He had
it is an 18-point game with 4 minutes left, to be clear.
100%. Also, though, he ran for a 17-yard gain earlier in the game when they were down 21-17.
So a big credit in this run goes to DeAndre Swift, who just kind of like essentially sees a guy and boxes him out on a 2nd and 10 where, it's a good play by Goff.
So yeah, I think we all can agree then. Like if he breaks off like a 40-something yard run, like injuries occurred. Like there's no way that he was just unaccounted for. Wait, does he
it's
get?
Not even terrible
defense.
They're playing prevent when they're down 18 with 4 minutes left.
Okay, but hold on. There's like there's like an RPO that they run on the 17-yard gain that I found.
You want to throw it in the chat?
Well,
yeah,
because I was gonna ask.
I'm time-stamping it right now.
If he were to get a lateral, does he get credit for the yardage?
Yeah,
for the whole run.
I think so. Oh God, I don't want that trick play, Miko. Whatever you're thinking in your mind, I don't want lateral to Jared Goff be on the play card. That might be worse than a Jameson Williams throw.
Is that akin to was it Travis Kelce lateral to LaShawn McCoy for the touchdown?
Maybe.
The Chiefs game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kerryon Johnson was just talking about that game on Twitter.
Was
he? Kerryon Johnson was doing like a Q&A of like, I think he's going back to work today, and so he's just like, I'm just gonna do Q&A for the rest of the night. And he was talking about how that Kansas City game was one of his best games. And then he's like, but I knew when Kelce pulled off that lateral that we were cooked either way.
Oh, yeah. That's it in the chat.
I'll throw it in the chat again so that it gets to YouTube because my chat goes to both.
Look at the motion with Leaf. Look at TJ Hawkinson out there putting hands on somebody.
Jay-Z, I do want to, that's one of the topics I do want to talk about is the Bears flea flicker in practice.
Stop. We can't talk about
Wait.
that.
You haven't seen it yet, Miko?
No.
Man, that QB option play worked so well.
Wasn't that awesome?
It's so good. What? Okay, this is the same game. So, the Lions thought that Jared Goff was mobile in his first, the first month of his Lions career.
Weeks, yeah. Well, hold on. Anthony Lynn thought that Jared Goff.
Yeah, you know what? That's right. It was an Anthony Lynn thing. All right. If you guys have not seen, and listen, we understand it's probably not fair to poke fun of the Bears too much right now because it's literally the first week of training camp for them, and it was always going to look rough. But they ran a trick play against air. There is no defense, and it looks hilarious.
It looks like a flag football play that a middle school team is running.
Yes. And I'm excited to see Miko's first reaction to this. Gotta make sure you guys can see it. Why aren't we going full screen? There we go. All right, here we go. You can see it, Miko?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We don't need sound. It's playing crappily, but it's just like it's not slowing it down. That is the exact speed in which the play is getting run.
I was gonna ask, like, why does it look like it's like taking forever for everything to just like happen?
And listen, they're probably also running it at a slow speed on purpose, right? Like, you would think Caleb Williams is not going to lay a lollipop pass like this to whoever he's throwing to. But it just looks funny. It just looks like the Little Giants trying to be the Detroit Lions.
Dude, I was just going to say, I just watched The Little Giants the other day because Amanda had never seen it before. And it was free on YouTube with ads. And, like, that's what this play reminds me of.
I don't know. I'm still very much thinking that this offense is just going to look rough. Like, at least for like the first half of the season.
Right.
I'm
very
glad
good so far.
Yeah, I'm very glad the Lions play the Chicago Bears early in the regular season.
Because I feel like that, like, they try and do that, and I can just see that pitch going over Caleb Williams' head.
I could see Brian Branch recognizing the play and
That
becoming
too.
a heat-seeking missile.
It's just like, if you're Ben Johnson, I know you're probably eager to actually put some trick plays in the book, but like, you got to get the basics down first. So if they even run like a trick play in the first 2 months of the season,
Like,
then I'll start
really,
really
like,
questioning whether Ben Johnson is the right guy. Like, you got to walk before you run, buddy.
yeah, like, how about we get Caleb to actually, like, three-step drop and like the ball actually gets out on time. How about establishing a run game, and then we can start rolling out flea flickers once people actually start biting on the run.
Right.
One player name answer, in your guys' opinion. You give a nice old glass of truth serum to Ben Johnson.
It's Caleb. Caleb.
No.
100%
No. Which Lions player
Oh.
on their defense does he think he can bait into a trick play? Like, who's the one defender he thinks he could pull a trick play off on?
I don't think you're going to like my answer.
I have my answer.
I think it's Jack Campbell.
Oh, poor Jack.
Jack was also who came to for me.
My answer was Kirby.
Oh, Kirby's not a
Really?
bad answer, too.
I think
He's gotten better at it, but
he's
he
just
used to-
aggressive.
yeah.
Like, he makes plays.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also think, like, Kirby has the athleticism where, like, even if you think you got him, like, you
Yeah.
better really have Kirby. Like,
That's
you better
true.
really get him to bite down on something, because, like, he just has the athleticism. Like, the play that Brian Branch broke down on, like, on the top 100, where he was like, Kirby covered one side of the field, recognized the play late, and still got all the way to the other sideline, basically,
Yeah.
to make that interception.
Yeah. He's different.
Yeah.
Like, Jack, though, like, I could, if it's like, if Ben just times it up perfectly where they're supposed to be blitzing Jack and he, like, just doesn't recognize it. Like, Jack's the first one. The other one was Terrion. Was like, if they just kind of caught Terrion peeking in the backfield, I feel like Terrion could probably get got on something.
He's different this year. He's different. Maybe.
Oh, for sure. I think so. Like, I don't know.
I'm such a Terrion truther after the first week of training camp. Like, I hope he stays healthy, obviously. But
I'm still a big proponent of, like, because I still think that, like, a lot of his DPIs early last season were so ticky-tacky, like, literally could have went either way.
I agree.
And it's like, a part of me is just like, that's really what's going to determine Terrion starts the season. Like, how they let him play on the outside is
Isn't that
going
really
to
sad? I agree with you
drastic-
100%, but isn't it sad that we're basically saying whether Terrion's second years of success is dependent on the officials?
I mean, yeah, I think like that's just like the nature of playing like press corner though. Like
Yeah.
when you're a physical corner and you're
Yeah.
not, one of these zone guys or anything like that, and they're like that's the gamble that like even as a defensive coordinator, like you have to live with that of like
Yep. Or
my
try to
guy
change the
might
rule
get hit.
book.
Right.
Yeah, like the Lions did.
Yeah, we saw how well that went, right? They were like, oh, they got a reading of the room real quick. Like, oh, no one else is going for this? All right, we'll just take this off the table. No one else wants to talk about this.
Just kidding.
I
We're
think
fine. We didn't want it anyways.
I think with that too, though, it's like if he is on the other side of those ticky tack things, Miko, to your point, it's like you could see just like Terrion like this, right?
Yeah.
Like boom. Whereas like if he doesn't get the benefit of those calls, like hopefully just year two and him seeing things and everything, it's still like up, but it's not like to the moon, Terrion Arnold,
Yeah.
right? It's like
Yeah. All right. There's one good question in the chat. We still have to answer Uncle T Rav's question, which was who's someone who's not starting now that we think should be or will be.
Malik Willis. Oh, for the Lions.
I'm gonna let it slide. That's a tough question because they're a really good roster right now. Like maybe Teslaw is the answer in the long run. I don't think he should be starting now, but probably should be in 2025. 2026.
I'm gonna say
it's 2025 right now.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the answer. I have the only answer.
Oh,
It's Jahmyr Gibbs.
he's starting. He's starting.
How many
According to
how
the
many
depth
how many games did he start in comparison to Dave Montgomery last year?
It's different. It's different in camp. Jahmyr Gibbs is your starter. I'll do a gentleman's bet week 1. Your starter is Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, it theoretically could be both, and I kind of love if it would be both.
Oh, if it would be both, I think we have to like
We
have to
both
do
lose the
something.
bet.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what? Let's come up with that. Or if you have a good bet, are you willing to take the Montgomery side?
I'm willing to take the Montgomery side, the guy who has started 14 games for the Detroit Lions in back-to-back seasons.
Okay. Yeah, let's come up with a bet where if the other person wins, we have to do something bad.
Okay,
But if both guys are out there on the same time, we both have to do the bad thing.
perfect.
Chat, it's on you.
Well, really,
Reasonable,
everybody wins if we both lose. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, if you both lose, I think you both should just have to eat a bowl of Bean Boozles as if it's cereal.
That's not fair. That's not adding anything to Ryan's plate.
Well, I
Or his
mean,
bowl.
it is. It's adding another bowl because I'm a bowl behind right now. But I feel like we should have to do like an entire stream dressed up as like Sonic and
Head
Knuckles.
shaved.
We
Head shaved.
already have like 3 streams that we still have to do. I'm not sure
It's
adding
true.
another one on top of it is. I still have to eat a JMO McDouble /
You haven't done that?
the Rotel thing. I still haven't done that.
Wait.
That
What
looks
Rotel
good
thing?
though.
Oh, is
Rotel
that
and
the
the
hot
flaming
Cheeto
hot
Rotel
Cheetos.
thing.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I have to
was
mix
thinking of
that
the-
with a McDonald's burger with a McFlurry and blend it all together and eat some of that.
Oh, I didn't know you had to drink it. I
What are
thought
they-
you just had to eat it.
What are people calling it? Are they calling it the McJamo?
Something like that.
Should it be the McJamo? I like how they like chat always like straight up goes to like head shaved. Just
I mean, I
like
think you
shave
guys
both
should
your
join
heads.
And that's the
I-
one like line I've never been willing to cross.
Ah, it's great. I mean, well, it's great during the
Look at
summer.
look at
During
this
the winter,
guy.
it's yeah. It'll grow
guy.
back.
Will it though? I'm 40.
I mean, yeah, maybe not the same. Grow back.
Oh, that liver and onion smoothie was the worst thing I've ever done for this stupid stream.
That's revolting. Come up with better ideas, chat. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, and then I'll be ready for segment 2 whenever you guys
Okay.
are.
I wanted to answer. Hopefully, I think it was, I don't know who it was. Someone on YouTube was asking does Keeney James, I think it was. It was one of the UDFA receivers, or maybe it was Jackson Meeks, or Keith Cooper Jr. have realistic chances to make the roster. I would say it's going to be really tough for any wide receiver not named Dominic Lovett to make the roster.
Yeah.
And it's
that's
just a numbers thing, man. Like, a lot of those guys are flashing. Like, don't get me, like, Jackson Meeks to me has looked pretty darn good. He had a drop today, but he's looked pretty darn good and worth keeping around on the practice squad. But you can't really justify a 53 spot for him right now. And I know, like, people get all anxious, like, we don't want to lose this guy. When we waive him, someone's going to pick him up. There are a lot of UDFA wide receivers that people get really excited about. A lot. And listen, I'm not going to sit here and say it never happens, right? It happened to the Lions last year with, what's his name? The Illinois guy.
Or
was it Syracuse? I always get those two confused.
Isaiah Williams.
Isaiah Williams, right?
Yeah. Yep.
It happens. It can happen. And if one of those guys balls out in the preseasons, maybe it will happen. But the Lions have like 2 or 3 guys where it's just like, you can probably fit at least one of those guys on the practice squad and it's going to be okay. Keith Cooper is a little bit more interesting. But go if you want to go ahead. Sorry.
Well, no, I was just going to chime in on the wide receiver talk for a quick second. Like, I feel like if one of those guys stands out that well, like, I think at that point in time, it would probably be like a detriment to Dominic Lovett's status on the, like, if someone is standing out that well, where they're like, oh man, should we keep Jackson Meeks or Dominic Lovett? Like, that's a tough spot for Dominic Lovett to be in. But I don't see how you can keep. There's no world where I can see the Lions trying to keep 7 receivers.
No, they just can't. They're too tight everywhere else, especially. I mean, I've been trying to make a way to fit 10 linemen, offensive linemen on the team, and I can't figure out a way to do that. I want to keep 10 defensive backs, and that's pretty tricky as well. Wide receiver 7 just isn't worth a spot. Is Tim Patrick a guarantee? I don't like to use the word guarantee at this point in the offseason, but I'd say he's I wouldn't even use lock with him, but I'd say he's pretty strongly fine. I think he started training camp on a slump. I think he'll eventually be okay. He scored a touchdown in the scrimmage today. It was an easy one, but he scored it. And to me, I think the problem is I don't see anyone that is ready to take on that X role right away. I don't think Taslaw is ready to take on that X role right away. And a lot of guys that we're talking about with the UDFAs and stuff, they're not of that ilk. They're not the position fit there that the Tim Patrick is.
Has he been better or worse than the X receiver crop from last year? Because
that's a very low bar, Miko.
I know, but like, I think that when a player comes out and it's like, oh, I haven't been having a good camp, like, that's where my mind goes to. Like, I remember
it wasn't
last year.
It hasn't been that bad.
Okay. Like,
RJ, what do you mean, buddy?
Picking up anyone they could.
Tyrion posted a picture of his hamstring.
Oh boy.
What do you mean? Dylan Drummond. Oh my gosh. But I mean, like, how many of those guys? Someone mentioned Khalil Pimpleton too. Mm-hmm. How many of those guys are you regretting letting go right now? Any of them? How many accounts does Tyrion have? Like a bajillion?
Wait.
I don't see anything on
Twitter.
Everything.
I don't think I've seen anything. Nothing's popping up on Twitter right away, so unless he posted it on like Instagram or something.
Oh, on Snapchat? Snapchat?
What?
Jeez, I didn't even know he had Snapchat. How many of these social media things do I gotta have?
I'm never going back to Snapchat. I feel like people should age out of certain social medias, and Snapchat is definitely one where like
Yeah.
once you cross over into your 30s, like that's the first app that you need to just uninstall.
I'm definitely too old for Snapchat. I feel like a creep. Snapchat straight to the second string. Saw it on Twitter. Who, that Detroit Times guy? Is he aggregating?
Someone else stalking. Yeah. Oh, it's literally just a picture of him, and all it says is hamstring, with like,
That's the caption.
yeah, it's like a selfie.
Yeah, whatever. What were we talking about before that? Someone wants to know about a fullback. Horton,
Oh,
maybe.
you didn't finish your thought on Keith Cooper.
Oh, good call. Yeah, Keith Cooper like has an outside chance just because of the numbers game, and it's what I had to say in the first segment, where it's just like I don't know how they're gonna handle Wingo. I don't know how they're gonna handle Pascal. I don't know how they're gonna handle some of these guys that may or may not be ready. And Cooper has been okay, like flashing here and there, and can do a lot of things. They're trying him at a lot of spots. I still think he has a pretty high hill to climb, because you think of the guys that you expect to make the 53 on the defensive line. You got Davenport, you got Hutchinson, you got Muhammad, you've got DJ Reader, you've got the other nose tackle. What's his name? 51. I keep
Roy
confusing
Lopez.
him with what? Roy Lopez, thank you. You probably have Hassani.
Who'd you confuse him with?
Grant Stewart.
Grant
all
Stewart.
the time. All the time. It doesn't
Yeah.
help that they're 15 and 51 either. I can tell you that much.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't help. Was Ezekiel
Um,
Turner 15 last year?
I think he's 57, 47. I don't know. I think he's 47 now, so maybe I'm just thinking that's what he is.
No, I think he was 47 last year too.
He was. Who's number 15?
I've already lost count. Suffice to say, like, there's not a lot of spots open, but he's got a shot at one. I think he's got a closer shot than any of the UDFA wide receivers do. Even though I think the UDFA wide receivers are maybe playing a little bit better right now.
UDFA wide receivers. That's
Everyone
training
loves
camp.
him.
That's training camp.
But I mean, as Chat is accurately pointing out, the Lions have cut a lot of UDFA wide receivers and they've gone elsewhere. They haven't gone elsewhere to go on and do things, but they're there.
That was going to be my other thing. Is like, as concerned as you are, like, what was the last player that like the Lions lost as a UDFA that you were like, oh, they went off and did like great things?
Like Starling
think,
Thomas is the closest thing, right?
I was gonna say Starling Thomas, yeah.
And now he's got a torn ACL. Is that what he suffered this camp? Which is a huge bummer. But like,
And
I
I think,
even
like, that
and
was
they
probably the one
replaced-
that hurt the most too. Like,
yeah.
as a Lions fan, I remember at least being like, dang, like,
Yeah.
but yeah.
And
It's
even
like,
like Gilmore, right? Like Gilmore, I don't even ended up staying with the team he was on. I think I just saw that he signed somewhere else very recently.
He signed with the Cardinals because
Oh,
Starling
to
Thomas got
replace
hurt.
Starling Thomas.
Yeah.
That's right. That is
Yeah.
what I saw. So, I don't know.
15 was Ennis, and still is Ennis.
Ennis is 9.
No, Ennis is 9 now.
Mm-hmm.
So who's 15 now?
Grant Stewart.
Roy Lopez.
No, don't do this to me. Roy Lopez is 51.
you
Roy
put this
Lopez
devil on me, Ricky
/ Dominic
Bobby?
Raiola.
Ben Neiman, number 51 last year.
Okay. I will take your word for that. Shredders Rage, thank you for the 21 months subscribed on Twitch. And Uncle T-Raf 50-bit says, who has a better record this year, Bears or Jets? I think it's the Bears.
Who has a
And
better record?
Bears have the tougher division. Bears have a tougher schedule, but they also have a fourth place schedule. Bears are going to win like 6 games, maybe 7. Jets might be like 3.
You think they might win 3 games?
Yeah. They're bad.
You're that down on Justin Fields?
The entire team. It's a rebuild. The Lions went 3-13-1 their first season.
I think their defense could be okay. I'm looking at their schedule right now.
On their defense? I mean, other than DJ Reed, did they lose anybody else?
Kind of a big loss, though.
Yeah, they're number 1 corner.
I'm sure Sauce will have a bounce back year.
Sauce will have a bounce back year.
Dang, they don't play one another. That's dumb. I wish Chicago played the Jets.
Oh, that would be cinema.
Just you that's like the national game in Detroit. Just the coordinators going against each other.
Do you imagine if the Lions had a bye week? Oh, that would be catnip.
Schedule makers, what are you doing? Like they have any control over who plays who. They don't. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put this to a poll on Twitch, and I wish I could do it easily to both, but I'm just gonna do it to Twitch because I have Twitch up.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Jets. I still think the Jets will have a better season, even if it's just by like a game.
I'm looking at their schedules side by side right now, and I'm trying to figure out who has the tougher schedule.
I mean, Bears have to play a lot of the same teams that the Lions do.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
They do. I was just kind of looking at like they're out of
bunch of Lions homers in our chat. 80% Jets. 80% Jets. If you want to go 60-40, I can take that. 80% Jets is wild.
Listen, can we all agree that we just need the Jets to beat the Steelers week 1?
Please, that'd be great.
Aaron Rodgers just to throw like 5 picks. All right, I might have to take back what I said because looking at their schedule.
The Jets?
Yeah.
Is it harder than I think?
Time finding. I think so.
I don't know, man. They get to play the NFC South. The Jets do.
Okay.
I guess depending upon like how you think, like, do you think the AFC East is top heavy and like Buffalo is just incredible? Like, is like
they're not gonna beat Buffalo.
Is McDaniel gonna get fired from Miami? Like, is that gonna last all season long? Like, is Miami gonna be good?
People seem to think that the Patriots.
New England.
Yeah,
they think the Patriots are like gonna be like Super Bowl contenders.
No, not that.
Yeah,
but
no,
like, I think
the
people think
Jets
they'll
will
be like
split.
500.
Yeah, I can see the Jets split with the Patriots.
What do you? I'm gonna just look it up, but like, because I think I saw this the other day and I was like stunned by it. But like, what do you think the Patriots over under win total was last season?
I don't know, like 5.5. Final vote.
It was 4. It was 4.5 wins. The Patriots last year. This year, I'm double
like
checking right
7.5.
now. It's 8.5.
8.5? Dear Lord!
Yes.
With Vrabel, just because of Vrabel.
Who's their quarterback?
Drake May.
Okay, whatever you say. 76%. 76% pick the Jets. By the way,
I can't even like. Oh, they did get Stephon Diggs. I was trying to figure out like who the hell wide receiver 1 was for the Patriots.
I don't know. Is Stephon Diggs a good thing?
If there's someone I want to build my culture around, it's Stephon Diggs.
Hey man, he's got special pink powder that no one doesn't know what the hell is.
What? I don't know what that means.
Oh, Jeremy, you missed out on this.
Oh, this is like. Well, this is like a month ago.
Was this on Snapchat? Is that why I missed it?
Instagram?
I don't know. I saw it on Twitter.
Powdergate.
Oh, I do. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I did see this.
Yeah.
You sweet summer child. Relax. I know what we're talking about now. I remember that picture. All right. Should we get back into the show? I feel like we should get back into the show. That was a very long break, per usual.
Go Jets. Yeah, go Jets.
Yeah.
Are you both picking the Jets, by the way? Have we decided on that?
I think the Bears are better on paper, but I think that Aaron Glenn's going to be a better head coach than Ben Johnson.
I agree with you in the long term. Not this year, though.
I think there's going to be a lot of dysfunction. Like the stuff that we saw last year where like the Bears were just finding ways to like lose games. Like I just think that continues. Like
I just did a Bears pod last week, and we were kind of going through all of them. And the game that I had forgotten about that I pulled up was the Bears Seahawks. I think it was a Monday night game. The final score of that game was 6-3. Do you guys remember that one at all? It was late in the season.
I feel like I do remember that game.
It was maybe the worst game I've ever seen. It was definitely in December because I remember watching it in Florida. It was god awful.
I feel like I just remember Twitter because it was a primetime game.
Yes. It was either Sunday or Monday night.
And people just like talking crap about it all game long on Twitter. Like
it might have been Thursday.
Gross, disgusting, nasty football.
It made me laugh so much just remembering that it existed. It's good times. Okay. Let's get back into it, huh?
Yeah. Over-under for the Lions-Chargers game, by the way, is 32.5. And I'm still saying take the under.
No. All right, I'm gonna move.
We don't have to do that this year, right?
Pick them?
Yeah. I
mean, you never have to do it.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
I don't know.
No, you do. You have to do it. You don't write those articles. You have to do it. Imagine Bubble Watch and Jeremy's just like, no, you don't have, like, nobody has to do it.
I'm just saying the individual. I will continue to do it, Ryan. Relax.
I just feel like as a collective, there was like I feel like there was a movement to be like, hey, we don't have to do these again anymore, right? And then like we ended up still having to do it, and I was like,
all right, I'm good to go.
all right.
Can I say one last thing about the Patriots?
Sure.
Patriots to make the playoffs. Yes, plus 150. No, minus 185. I think that's wild. Like,
people are very
easy money,
very high because of all of those championships that Mike Vrabel got in Tennessee.
Over 7.5 wins is minus 200. Winning 8 football games.
Dang.
That's crazy.
And welcome back to the Pride of Detroit POD cast. Going into segment 2, we are going to be looking ahead to the Lions' first preseason game of this year. They are playing against, should I say, the Los Angeles Chargers. Jeremy, this is going to be one of those games where we can finally start to kind of see a lot of the players that you've gotten to see up close, kind of in a in-game setting. So let's start things off with this question: which position group was going to have your undivided attention when the Lions finally kick off this Thursday?
Yeah, I think the interesting part about this question is you also have to consider, well, who's actually going to play, right? And given that I just saw the scrimmage and Dan Campbell was like, yeah, basically the scrimmage is going to be everyone who doesn't play on Thursday. We're going to play them in the scrimmage. So we have a good idea of who's not going to play. And that unfortunately includes Tate Ratledge and Tyleik Williams. And I only say unfortunately because I'd love to see them play. I totally get why the Lions are not doing that. Those guys are going to be very important to what they do. It sounds like they might get some work in the preseason, just not this first one, which generally speaking, the first one is like third and fourth strings when it's a Hall of Fame game. So, but beyond that, like taking that into mind, I'm still fascinated by the offensive line. We talked a little bit about it in the first segment. I think I want to focus on the offensive tackle position a little bit. One, because like Giovanni Manu remains like the most interesting like third stringer on the team right now. And I would not be surprised based on how they're using it in camp if he plays the entire game at left tackle. Like he has been the second string left tackle. He's been the third string left tackle. Maybe they want to get more work with Jamarco Jones on the left side, but it would also not surprise me if they just said, Giovanni, you are playing 4 preseason games as a starter, as a finisher, get as many reps as possible at left tackle, go. And if that's the case, I get it, I'm for it, and he probably benefits from it the most. But also, kind of given the struggles that we saw from Dan Skipper today at the scrimmage, part of you wonders if that offensive 3-tackle job is maybe up for grabs a little bit. If Jamarco Jones is in that mix, Mason Miller seems a little bit further behind, but maybe he's a gamer. Maybe he shows up in the preseason. So for me, that offensive tackle position has a little bit of like sneaky intrigue, and you certainly hope that they stand well in the preseason game, because I think maybe another position that is of intrigue in the preseason is very reliant upon the offensive tackles playing well.
I just want to follow up to that question real quick with the OT3 stuff, just because I find this always to be fascinating. The Lions are a team that like to use a 6 offensive lineman, and it's often a tackle. And if they're doing that, like how much does that weigh into which guy is OT3, right? Like OT3 versus being the 6 offensive lineman in a set, 2 very different things, right?
Yeah, no question.
Yeah.
But we also don't know what the preference is for someone like John Morton too, right? Like, would you rather have a fullback than an OT6 on the field? Maybe. We don't really know. I have to say it. I don't recall seeing a lot of 6 offensive linemen set so far in training camp, but they also have not worked a ton on goal line either. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Fair. Miko, do you have a position group that is going to have your eyes all Thursday evening?
Yeah, I gotta go with the edge group. And again, I know this is going to be third and fourth string guys, but considering, the things that this defense went through last year, like it's going to be interesting to see some of these guys that we got to only see in limited action. Like, is anybody kind of popping, right? And I think this can be a really good opportunity for certain guys to kind of, make a name for themselves, or at least start to climb up the rankings in terms of making this roster. I like, obviously Ahmed Hassanin is a guy that I think everyone's gonna have circled, and I'm going to be very intrigued to see how much they play him, considering like some of the stuff that I've been reading about, like them just kind of putting him through like a gauntlet of things during practice. Like, is it just going to be the first half, or is he playing all game? Like, what is that type of situation? Nate Lynn is another guy that, was definitely making some waves last year. Again, can he kind of do some things in this first preseason game to kind of get the coaching staff to give him some more opportunities, throughout the rest of camp? That's at least one of the groups that I'll be kind of focused on, Ryan.
Yeah, the defensive line kind of as a whole, right? Like I'm intrigued to see how that stuff all fills in the middle. Like how much is Broderick Martin playing in these preseason games? Because I mean, it could be pretty telling if he's just like relegated to being like third string, like third or fourth quarter snaps. That would be pretty telling of where we would get an understanding of where he kind of is in terms of the eyes of the coaching staff. But I'll say that I think we're kind of hitting on all of them, but like I think the defensive backs are going to be really interesting to see who's playing where, right? Like, is someone getting an extended look in the slot? Is someone mostly repping as an outside corner? Is there any of that positional versatility where you notice a guy maybe like Eric Hallett, like is he switching off and maybe playing a little safety, or is he playing like corner? Like what's going on there, right? I think will be telling in terms of one, right? Like you'll see the coaching staff like trying to get film on these guys doing certain things in certain spots versus, if you see for a whole quarter a guy's repping in one spot, it's like, okay, maybe they're like giving him a nice long look at whatever position it might be in that defensive backfield. But I think the defensive backs will be something to keep an eye on for me on Thursday.
Look at us. Nobody's saying quarterback. Like, how nice is it to not have to
I
really
baited
be like,
you guys. I said I tried to lead one of you into quarterback. We're gonna talk about it, Miko. We have to talk about it.
I mean, we definitely can, and I think that's always going to be a point that fans are going to fixate on throughout these preseason games. But I think, I don't know, as much as the Lions are treating it like a competition, that is just a position that it's a competition that I refuse to take seriously until like I see something drastically wrong with Hendon Hooker to be like, oh yeah, no, Kyle Allen absolutely probably needs to be challenging for this position.
And it's a reality that you just want to entertain because it's like if the Lions are on track to what they're trying to accomplish, we don't have to think about quarterback two ever.
True.
Right? Like
Very
I
true.
know I know you don't want to be sliding into home plate, Brad Holmes. But like at the same time, like I don't want to care about the quarterback two position.
It's
Not with the
a
first
fair
preseason game.
right,
Definitely not with the first
but
preseason game.
but I think a lot of people are eager to see what reports have been out of training camp, which is that Hendon Hooker has taken a big step, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of the people that believe he has, and so to actually see that, and not that he like by the end of last preseason he was starting to put some things together for sure, but this has looked entirely different, and I think people would understandably be excited to see that. I mean, this is a third round pick, right? This is a guy that they thought
Sure.
would develop into a decent to very good backup to maybe to a point where if he has to fill in the second half or he has to fill in for a week, the season isn't sunk. And so any sort of signs that maybe that progress has been made, I think is going to maybe put some people at ease at least a little bit.
Sure. I think a lot of people hope that he would develop into a second round pick in return or a
Right.
first round pick in return.
That's not happening. But but to maybe answer the question that's coming, like Hendon Hooker is a guy that I think can take a significant lead in the backup quarterback race in this game. I don't think anything's going to necessarily be decided on Thursday night, and it might, if the trend of training camp follows, it actually might be Kyle Allen who starts the game, which I would say is a minor mistake. I'd like to see Hendon against the better defense on Thursday night, but like you said, Miko, like
Better,
they
right?
are treating this as a real competition, and the very first quarterback out there with the twos was Kyle Allen, and they've been splitting ever since. Like one day alternating, so one day Kyle Allen, one day Hendon Hooker, but like Hendon Hooker just did the scrimmage, so it's entirely
Mhm.
possible that Kyle Allen is your starter in the preseason game, and I don't know what to make of that. Maybe it's real, maybe it's not, but I think Hendon's played pretty well, and I'd like to see that continue on to the preseason.
Yeah, I think it's something that if we're talking about like maybe Hendon maybe extending his lead, like I said, because I at least feel like he probably is leading this quarterback race. Like I think you definitely have a chance of extending that by just having a really good preseason game against the Chargers. Um, but I don't like again, I feel like his position is probably already semi-stamped. I don't know if that's probably hedging my bet a little too much here. A player that I look at that could definitely, stamp their way onto the roster though is Kingsley Iguaquin. In terms of that center role that we were talking about in the first segment, like I do really feel like the Lions want to have like a true backup center. And it's been a while since I feel like they've had one of those, especially since having Graham back, that they've always had a guy that can kind of fluctuate between guard and center. If Kingsley can go out there and have a really strong showing, whether it's just in the first half or throughout the entire game, whatever the case may be, like I think he has a really strong case of like, hey, I should be your backup center to like even ahead of Tate Ryan in terms of like if something were to happen to Graham, I'm the guy that you guys look to kind of fill in for the middle of this offensive line.
That's fair. And I mean, you could definitely pop. I think that's one of the things that really stands out in preseason play because sometimes it's really hard to get a gauge on wide receiver play, right? Because it's, the quarterbacks and um I think line play though, you can glean a lot from line play in the preseason. So, a big performance from any of these interior offensive linemen is going to go a long way. But funny enough, like, what about Dominic Lovett? Like,
Hmm.
depending on what kind of work he gets and maybe the quarterback that he's working with while he's out there playing wide receiver, I mean, what is he doing on special teams? That's a guy who like I definitely think he's inside on the roster bubble, but like as far as like stamping his way to the 53, um, very. I don't want to misremember his name from last year. Was it Isaiah Williams?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it'd be really easy for me to see like Dominic Lovett have like an Isaiah Williams type of preseason where it's like, oh, okay, like I see like the athletic traits flash.
Yep.
I understand why you want this guy on your 53-man roster beyond just the wide receiver position. So that's going to be my guy who I think could really like put a stamp on things on Thursday.
Yeah, seeing Dominic Lovett like scream down the field on like a punt on like punt coverage, like might be the thing that kind of gets like a lot of fans being like, "Oh, okay, like I see it." Like
Yeah.
Yep.
because like you said, like quarterback play is obviously going to factor in when it comes down to him playing receiver, but like being able to see those special teams traits that like it's really hard to kind of it's easy to read about but kind of hard to visualize. I think that could be the thing that could really help him out in the long run.
And that's the last thing I wanted to say about Hendon Hooker was like the two things that I'm watching for with Hooker is like procedural stuff that we talk about all the time,
Yep.
which you can't
Hmm.
really see until you're in a game situation, and then decision making, right? And that was the thing that like we didn't see at the end of the preseason last year. Like we saw all the ad libbing and
Yep.
like him not knowing when to slide and like kind of freelancing a little bit. So like those types of things though, like you're saying, even Miko with like Dominic Lovett, like these like almost like intangible things or things that aren't really going to pop so much. Like those are like the in between the lines things that you need to read about players as you're watching these games.
I want to add to the Hendon Hooker thing because I thought Dan had a really, really interesting answer today when talking about like what he wanted to see from the quarterbacks. What would be a successful play? And I don't know if I have the direct quote, but it was something to the effect of like, I don't even care if he punts. Like I just want him to take what I just want the ball to go where it's supposed to go when lining up against this defense. I don't want him trying to make plays. I don't want him trying to fit balls in tight windows. I want him to read the defense, know where his read should go, and throw it there. If it's incomplete, let the receivers make the plays. You're not the one that needs to play. And I just thought that was like really interesting because I think you look at Hendon Hooker and you see his arm talent, you see his leg talent, and you're like, well, some of what makes him a really good quarterback or a really good prospect are those things, but that's not where he needs to develop. He needs to develop in the
Hmm.
put the
Yeah.
ball in the right placing, and that's where he wants to see Hendon Hooker really thrive in this game.
Yeah, and I think that's something that I think a number of players are going to have to also go into this game with, right? That mindset of like just doing the right thing, right? Like
Yep.
not necessarily like going out there trying to make splashy plays or again try to create a highlight reel for themselves. Like it's the preseason for a reason. Like this is still an evaluation. So with that in mind, Jeremy, like who is someone that comes to mind that you're like, hey, they have to go into this preseason game and they really can't afford any kind of setbacks.
I mean, it might already be too late for this guy, but like Broderick Martin, I think he has to pop. He's not getting a ton of opportunities in training camp, being with the threes and sometimes the fours. He's starting to fall further and further down the depth chart. He hasn't flashed too much in practice, and sometimes it's been for the wrong reasons. He needs to show he's a gamer. He needs to show that he's grown. Like I said, the deck is stacked against him right now, and it might require like 4 eye-popping preseason performances for him to even get considered into the 53 at this point. But if he wants to stick around, maybe even on the practice squad, like he is going to have to show something, and it has to be now. There's no more waiting. I understand it was always a long-term project, but this is year 3. It has to be now. And it has to start Thursday. Like if it's not Thursday, like we might even have to start having the conversation of does he need to be part of the 90? Like I know that's a terrible conversation to even talk about with someone, but that's how little of an impact he's been making in training camp, and it's do or die. Just very simply put, it's do or die for Broderick Martin, and I hope he can show that he has made strides and get some playing time in the second half of this game because he's a good guy, he's a hard worker. It just hasn't clicked for whatever reason.
Yeah. My player is Colby Sorsdal for a similar reason, but Jeremy, you mentioned that while he has been regularly repping with the third team offense, like he's basically done it at all 5 positions,
Yeah,
which is great, right? Like
sure.
that's something cool to put on your resume, but like if you don't do any of those positions well, then well, there's a Kingsley Aguakin that would be better to keep because he plays center really well. There's a Coyote Awashika that we're going to keep because he's a guard, and we know that we can trust him to play guard. It's really cute and nice to be able to play or say that you can line up at tackle, guard, and center, but like it's a different thing to be able to play well at one of those positions. And I think that you just need to see Colby Sorsel go out there and just like do something really well at wherever he's lined up.
Yeah.
Right? Like if it's guard early on, great. Do that well. if it's tackle, do that well. Just like find your thing and do that well, and then start to like stack the performances across 4 games and make it hard for them to kind of make a decision on you. But he's a guy who I really don't think can afford to, slide Miko on Thursday.
I think you both picked like the two like number like 1A, 1B type of guys like that can't afford this. And honestly, like I do still lean more so towards Broderick, where it's just like it does. Like it's weird that it's like if time hasn't already run out, like by Thursday, Jeremy, like I could very well see it be that case where it's like, man, if you're just not, you know, occupying space well, if you're not getting off of blocks, if you're not making tackles and things like that, like I kind of do have that same thought process where it's like, so what is it that you guys haven't seen at this point to justify keeping him on the 90, whereas you could just go out there and get another defensive tackle or another position and evaluate that player instead? Like at this point in time, it just kind of feels like the tires are still spinning on Broderick Martin, but like it's not really getting the traction that I think we as a fan base have been expecting. And it really makes me wonder if the coaching staff is seeing any type of traction to justify keeping him at this point.
Yeah, it's a tough spot for him, and none of us want to see him there, but it's unfortunately the reality of the situation as it is right now.
So last question before we kind of, start to slowly start to wrap things up, but like looking ahead to this preseason game, which position do you want to see the most depth at when it comes down to whether it's just like within this preseason game or probably even just like coming out of it, because we know that they've kind of this team has dealt with some injuries here and there, but um Ryan, I'll kind of start with you. Like where do you want to see the most depth at when it comes down to this Lions roster?
I think the offensive line. Like I want to see some guys step up, and I would like to feel more comfortable about interior offensive line specifically. But by the same token, I mean, we just got done talking about how we want to see somebody step up and like take OT3. Like OT3 isn't just like Dan Skipper's by default because Geo hasn't progressed, right? Or Jamarco Jones, who, you know, apparently is a factor in all, right? Like I think you just need to see depth at a integral piece of what makes the Lions successful on offense. It's so fundamental and so important, and you're going to deal with injuries. So like, I want to see some guys step up and perform well on Thursday, and hopefully Jeremy they can stack those days because they're going to need to call on depth. It's going to happen inevitably. Nobody's going to be healthy for all 17 games.
Nobody?
You got you nobody.
No
Nobody.
team. You don't mean no single player.
I mean that yes. Yeah. Yeah. But that's me.
Yeah.
I mean, where are you hoping that the Lions have a lot of depth? Like you walk away on Thursday and you're like, man, they have some tough decisions to make at this position.
I mean, fingers crossed it's defensive tackle for me because that is where they're going to face the most adversity early in the season, right? You
Mm-hmm.
might not have Makai Wingo. You're certainly not going to have Lee McNeil. You're not going to have Levi Onwuzurike. So you're relying on DJ Reader, Roy Lopez, rookie Tyleik Williams, and who else? Who? I don't know. I mean, Pat O'Connor is probably Roderick Martin. Pat O'Connor is going to make the team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where
Yeah.
he's going to play, but he's probably going to be part of the heavy rotation to start the season. And so I'd like to see some competition there. I'd like to see some guys step up and show me that, hey, maybe Keith Cooper Jr. can be the next UDFA to make this roster. Maybe Chris Smith has hung around long enough where things are starting to click for him. Raekwon Williams, a guy who has a little bit of experience but not a ton of success. I would love for one of those guys to step up because I think someone out of that group is going to be essential in the first month of the season. And if they can start showing up early in one of these preseason games, maybe I'll feel a little bit more confident about that position. But right now, that's kind of where I feel the least amount of confidence, because even the guy like Josh Pascal, who can play plenty on the interior, certainly sounds like he's going to miss at least 2 or 3 weeks of the season. So they really need some reinforcements there, particularly early in the season.
I'm gonna have to kind of stay on the defensive side, but I'm gonna go with the secondary. And I know we talked about like Rocky Sin having a really good camp, but we also talked about like this entire secondary has dealt with injury in some capacity, whether it's the corners, whether it's the safeties. I think there needs to like we need to be able to come out of this game and feel like, okay, there is some viable depth here. Jeremy, I think you were saying during our break, like you've been kind of struggling to try and find a way of keeping 10 DBs on this roster. Like I think the Lions are going to absolutely need that just because of the simple fact that like it's one of those positions where it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Like
Yeah.
someone's going to get dinged, someone's going to be down for a series, or again, hopefully nothing worse than a game or two. You want to make sure that you have viable options to be able to cover those positions, whether it's outside corner, whether it's nickel, whether it's safety. And so I think it's one of the reasons why the Lions have been really flocking to these guys that are so multifaceted, that can play multiple roles, because they understand, listen, we don't want to just have to depend on this one guy as our only backup outside corner. Like we want to be able to rely on this guy in the event that we have an injury somewhere else, that we can shuffle our entire secondary and still be covered, to go out there and play good football on, once the regular season kind of happens, Ryan.
Yeah, preseason football. Let's go, baby.
At the end of the day, like I think we can all agree on this. Let's just no one else get hurt. Like no one else, especially at
Yes.
key positions where we are expecting people to compete and vie for the positions and for some of the roles that we've talked about in this podcast. That's going to be the ultimate win, regardless of what the score is. It's a preseason game. It doesn't count towards the regular season. Let's just get good, healthy football, and again, hopefully a good evaluation on several players on this Lions roster. So,
Yeah.
before we get up out of here, guys, Jeremy, you have a nice announcement to kind of, roll out to the people.
Yeah. One of the things that's always been really important for me when it comes to Pride of Detroit, and ever since we kind of dipped our toe into streaming and podcasting and just using our platform in different ways, is to give back to the community. And we're looking to do that to help out one of our own, and kind of calling on your guys' potential help. You guys probably know Alex Reno, used to be on the podcast a little bit, does some draft stuff for us, does some editing stuff for us now. His family's going through a tough time. He has a niece, Izzy, who has NGLY1 deficiency, which is like an inability to process certain proteins. She's only 4 years old. She's going through a lot of health complications, daily seizures, things like that. And it's a lot. It's a lot for the entire family. Her parents are basically by her side in a long-term hospital stay right now. And so they're looking to raise some money, and I'm hoping to use this platform to help them out a little bit. There's a couple ways you can help that are going to make a difference, to put shortly. First is a bowling fundraiser that's coming up Sunday, August 10th. I have a little flyer for the people that are watching live or on replay. It's $35 for 2 games of bowling, a shoe rental, pizza, and pop, which is already a good deal. By the way, this is at Oak Lanes in Westland, Michigan. So if you're local to southeastern Detroit, I'm going to be there. Reno's going to be there. I think some other people from POD are going to be there. So if you want to just meet us and give to a good cause, you can do it there. Reach out to me for information. If you aren't able to go, but want to help out, you can Venmo directly to the family. It's at Izzy Reno on Venmo. That's IZZYRENO. You can pre-register via Venmo, or you can just pay cash at the door. Either one works for that. It's Sunday, August 10th, 1:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. If I forgot to mention the time. The other way you can help out, other than Venmo as well, is some of our friends are doing some Twitch streams like we do, where they're raising money as well. In order to do that, you tune in this Friday, August 1st, 12:30 p.m. Eastern, to our friends, twitch.tv/sstuds, that's SSTUDS, or twitch.tv/hangssz, so that's HANGSZ. They're both live streaming to benefit this in particular. They're doing a whole bunch of fun things, where same things that we kind of do, right? Where when we raise money, a certain amount comes in, they do silly stuff to themselves. Those are always fun to watch. If you don't remember those Twitch names, we're going to host them on twitch.tv/Pride of Detroit, so you could go there. Again, that's Friday, August 1st at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me or Alex Reno. One thing at the bowling event as well is auctions for like these big baskets of prizes. I donated some some Detroit Lions stuff. I donated a Steve Young signed photo, which I forgot that I had, that was collecting dust. That is probably worth a fair amount of money, but it was just sitting in my closet and I don't need it. So it should be a fun event. I'd love to see some POD people out there. If not, just let's have a good time, bowl and drink some pizza, and eat some pizza and drink some pop.
That is a mouse.
I was gonna. Well, like Jeremy said, like no, this is a really great cause, and I think that's one of the things that I've always admired about not just Pride of Detroit, but also the people that follow Pride of Detroit is like how giving you all are and how like supportive you are in these meaningful situations. So like Jeremy said, like yeah, if it's something that you can give to and that you are, you know, willing to support and be able to help out, and we would greatly appreciate that. On a less serious note, and definitely less important note, if you are wanting to support Pride of Detroit, you guys can always do that by checking out prideofdetroit.com. Training camp observations will be continuing to go up once the preseason game is over. There will be, you know, obviously takeaways from that as well, so you can always find those over at prideofdetroit.com. If you are, again, more into video content, you can always go over to youtube.com/prideofdetroit. Morgan and myself will absolutely be doing videos in regards to just breaking down the preseason game as well, maybe even doing our first preseason film study. I think he already said he wants to look at Ahmed Hassanin. So like if you want to kind of look forward to that, we'll definitely be jumping into that as well. That's over on YouTube. And like always, you can always check us out every week over here on twitch.tv/Pride of Detroit. Jeremy and Eric will be back at some point in time this week. I don't think you guys have decided if it's going to be Wednesday or the day after the preseason game, but
Friday
mailbag will still happen. Yeah, it's still going to happen at some point in time.
That's a Pride of Detroit Direct exclusive as well this week, since it's the last one of the month. So make sure you're subscribed over there. prideofdetroit.com/subscribe.
Yeah, if you're not, trust me, you guys are missing out on so much more training camp observation, especially because we're only doing the podcast once a week. Like, could you imagine that you could actually get the immediate feedback from what happened at practice? All you gotta do is subscribe to Pride Detroit Direct. So, again, we appreciate you guys. Thank you all for your support. And with all that said, I'm Miko. He's Jeremy. He's Ryan. Thank you guys for taking the time to listen and watch, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Taking this off.
All right.
Recording stopped.
I gotta get me a cowboy hat.
You like the look?
Just so I can tip it at the end of every podcast.
I love the move. It's
No
such a
other
good
reason.
move. It's either that or it's like the line across it, like one of those two moves. That's the moves.
It's gonna be your sign off for the podcast. The audio medium is doing a visual cue.
Yeah.
I love it.
I be feeling bad. Morgan does like a peace sign at the end of every last one of our videos, but because neither of us talk, when I like run it through our editor, it like always cuts it off. And I'm just like, I can't justify keeping it though, because neither of us are talking.
That's funny.
Oh man.
I like this bit that chat's currently doing that, like, oh, Jeremy's back. Who's that other guy?
Yeah. Who is that cowboy that was just on stream talking about the Lions?
One Pride 0427, thank you for the 28 months subscribed on Twitch, says, look at these studs. Hope you guys are doing well. We are. Thanks for asking. I guess that wasn't asking. Thanks for expressing intrigue.
Okay, yeah. That works.
That's it for alerts. Oh, no, it isn't. Damian Smith over on YouTube with a £2 super chat says, is anyone not showing up much? Miles Adams, for example. It's probably a good example. Mason Miller is probably another one. Offensive tackle. I don't want to bury too many people.
I was starting to get really concerned about Dan Jackson prior to today.
Yeah. Dan Jackson had not shown up much defensively so far, but like he's still good on special teams, and I think that'll be enough. And
Yeah,
he did
it's
have a
like-
decent day
it's-
today.
Yeah, it's weird because obviously like it's 7th round pick, so you're not trying to have like ridiculously high expectations, but then it's just like, all right, we're 8 days into camp, and I
Right.
don't think I've heard his name mentioned.
Yeah. And plus, like, I think maybe there was an expectation that, like, because he's kind of an older player, that maybe things would click a little bit quicker. Safety is a tough position for that to happen.
It's the
to,
NFL.
but yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a necessary reminder.
Yeah. Sports Turf Pro. Jock Randall is Jeremy's cowboy alter ego. Are you taking the J and the R? Is that what you're doing?
Jock Randall.
Jock Randall.
There are too many JRs around. I feel like there's at least 3 in the Lions media room. I can't think of them right now. I mean, there's me and Justin
Rogers.
I feel like there was someone else. Oh, Jeff Risdon.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I feel like there's still more.
There
I don't know. There isn't.
I'll share on stream something I shared with you guys because I saw it in real time. First time I'd ever seen one in my entire life. I saw someone get a hole-in-one on a golf course, par 3.
Oh yeah.
165 yards. Like, my adrenaline was going.
Yeah.
Like, the ball hits the green, and the ball mark that it left, it just hit the back of the screen and then back spun.
So, that's cool. The backspin rolling is. I don't think I can't. I'm not a great golfer, obviously, but I don't think I've ever been able to do like a backspin on a par 3.
No, that's just like next level.
Yeah, I think I would have been in the same situation though, Ryan. Like I think adrenaline would have probably taken over my body, even if it's not me doing it.
Right.
Like,
yeah, I was super pumped because it was the guy's first ever hole-in-one.
Mm-hmm.
He's been playing golf for 20 years, and he's like, well, you always think like it's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then today in Oscoda on a Tuesday, and like the thing is that from my vantage point. And it was hole 17 too. So it was like the whole day.
Last opportunity.
Get to hole 17, last opportunity. And like I'm on the left side of the tee box, and where he hits, like it's kind of blind. So like we can't see the ball.
Not sure.
So we're driving around on the cart path looking at it, and we're just looking at the green, and it's like, well, I don't see the ball. And like sometimes you joke because you're like, well, we better check the hole. But this was like we couldn't drive any faster. Like you couldn't mash the gas pedal any harder.
Yeah. So
it was like
everyone had an inkling, but no one was sure.
Yeah, and it was just the two of us. So it was like,
okay, it was just 2.
I was like, I didn't see it from my vantage point. He's like, dude, I can't see the ball from my vantage point either. But like, I think it might have went in.
Yeah.
And we just like run to the cart. And we pull up, and like I'll have to share the video with you, but like this guy, like he's a grown man. He's in his 40s, and he was like doing the gritty on the way to the hole, because like he already knew, like he knew before. Like this is all real time. Like he throws me his phone, and he's like record this, and I'm just like, it's like Blair Witch Project, like it's just like shaky camera, and he's just like, dude, he's like shaking uncontrollably.
That's awesome.
And he sees it in the cup, and it's just like, let's go, like on a golf course, screaming as loud as he possibly can. And then like one of the maintenance crew was like, did you get a hole-in-one? He's like, yeah. They brought him a flag too. Like they brought him a flag that he could keep, and like the maintenance people and like the groundskeepers like signed it. Like I signed it and everything. Like
nice.
That's awesome. No, I think that's the appropriate way to celebrate something like that. And I don't even golf, but like I don't know. That's exactly how I would probably I would be probably banned from whatever golf course I was at that I did that at, because
J-Mo celebration on the green.
Bro.
In the hole.
I'm probably making right. Like I'm doing so many obscene things that probably aren't appropriate for a golf course. I'm out here making sand angels.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, clothes are coming off. Like there's a layer of clothing that is absolutely coming off.
Yeah.
This begs a good question though. What is your guys' best sports accomplishment? Or what is the sports accomplishment that you would like to still, like what would be the pinnacle of a sports accomplishment at this point in your lives? Like it's not like, oh, hit a grand slam in the World Series, like something that's attainable.
Hey.
Oh, that's still attainable.
Working on
like
my swing.
there's
Tigers look like crap right now. They got a spot for me.
I've like admittedly given up on like any type of like competitive like sporting at this age. It's
Yeah.
just and it's purely out of like the fact of like I would not be able to live with myself if I like tore an ACL
Mm.
this late into my 30s.
Mm.
Like it didn't happen when I was actively playing sports. I never had a serious injury. I would just be pissed at myself if I like tried to do something now and it's like, oh yeah, you tore your ACL or you blew your Achilles, and it's like
For
just for
what?
like yeah, for the community league, like that's what I did this for the church league. I blew an Achilles.
Yeah.
Um, I will say, man, I don't know. I feel like probably like my best, and I don't even know if like we were already going, but going to nationals with my 4x1 relay team my
Okay.
senior year
That's cool.
was like the thing. And then
Where are you in the
I
rotation?
was second leg.
Okay.
So like I was so sure that we were going to state, and then like our anchor pulled his hamstring.
No.
Mm.
And
Oh,
I'll have to tell the story off stream because like it makes me so upset. Like it's my
oh
biggest like what if
no.
in sports, because like Ryan, you know this as a track guy. Like
Yeah.
in terms of like how relays are set up, like you set up like your quote unquote fat, like it doesn't go like in order of fastest to slowest, right? Like
Right.
it's literally like relays are set up specifically like the 4x1. Like you have your best like out the gate is your starter.
Mm-hmm.
Second fastest is like your second leg. Third fastest is like whoever can just run the curve the best.
Mm-hmm. The
And
curve's a big
then
one.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then the fourth leg is technically like your fastest guy. And so technically like usually what you see in relays is like if something happens, like everyone rotates to whatever their like counterpart like position is. I thought I would get moved to anchor and it didn't happen. And that's where we lost it. Like we were winning all the way up to the anchor, and it was like I was furious.
Like
Oh,
should have been
brutal.
me. Jeremy, what's yours?
It's probably a tie between.
What's your one thing you still want to accomplish?
Ooh, I don't know if I have one necessarily. Since
You've
I'm like,
aced in disc golf?
I got my first ace in disc golf this summer, so that might be the answer. Although I almost look more fondly on my very first game of organized roller hockey. I scored on my first shift.
I mean, it's all downhill from there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and to be clear, terrible hockey player. I am not a good hockey player.
Right,
But
right place, right time.
very first shift, the way I remember it is it's very much like right near center ice. This guy is essentially trying to like slap it into our zone, bounces off my leg, and I'm on a breakaway. Didn't put a good move on, didn't even put a good shot on, but it went in.
It went in.
It went in.
I love
That's all
it.
that matters.
Yeah. I also made states in tennis, but it was doubles.
Oh, nice.
I don't know why I don't take that much pride in it. Probably because it
It's
was 20
states.
years ago.
Bro,
I
I was
know,
say
but
it states in
matters.
anything.
I know. Yeah.
Like so like in high school you're talking like, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
yeah, like I think that's still impressive because like I don't know, I remember when we had to play tennis in high school,
Right.
like nobody was good at it. Like
Well, that's almost why I don't feel great about it. It's like there are like 4 good schools that are like
specialized.
actually good at it that like practice.
yeah, but like
And
the
then
people that
everyone's else
are
like,
good
I
at
don't
it
know,
are good.
Yeah.
Like that's the difference. Like the people that are good at it are actually like talented at it. The rest of us are just playing it because it's week whatever in gym and we have to play it.
Right. I went to Northville. I don't mind doxing myself.
Beep boop.
Class of 04. Look it up. 21 years ago. Dear Lord.
One thing that I still want to accomplish athletically is I want to go back to running. I used to run a lot for my for the accident that I was in. So like I would like to run like a marathon. I think that'd be cool to run a marathon.
November goal?
I go back and
I
forth
o-
on that. Like,
I
on
almost-
wanting to run a marathon.
I almost made like a half marathon a Movember goal last year, and then I'm like, I'm not going to commit to it. I can't.
Maybe a half
I
marathon.
I would do a half marathon with you.
What's
What
that,
if-
like 5 miles, 5.2 or something? Something like that? Isn't it 10.2 maybe a marathon, so 5.1? Or am I making that up? Oh, wait, no, I think it's 21.2 is a marathon. Maybe a half is 10.6.
Marathon is 26 miles.
Jesus. I'm way off.
26.2, right? Yeah.
13 miles.
Running. How long does that take?
A lifetime.
3 hours?
Like,
Lifetime. It's like 2-3 hours.
Might take a while. However, what if it was a Movember goal, but we did the turkey trot in Detroit and we just did the 5K?
Maybe that's more. 5K is what I was thinking. How much was the 5K?
5K is like 3
like-
miles. Little
Yeah,
over
I was gonna
3
say,
miles.
like,
I'm in.
yeah.
Turkey
Oh
trot.
yeah, that.
Turkey
Let's
trot.
do it.
Do we get to dress up as turkeys, or do we?
People do dress up as turkeys.
We gotta dress up as turkeys.
Wait, but is that on Thanksgiving?
It's 8:30 in the morning.
That's going to be the worst day of my life.
Oh,
No, 8:30 in the morning.
I just
You're
parked
done-
downtown.
Three miles. You're done with the race by 9.
I think you overestimate how fast I am.
Shower at Ford Field.
yeah.
Shower at Ford Field. They just
Yeah.
give me access to the locker room. Is that what we're doing?
You got enough pools. You have a whole.
You got a
recording room
name.
named
You
after
got a whole name.
Not at Ford Field. They might let me shower at Allen Park.
At Allen Park?
I got a,
There you go. It's not too far out of the way. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't have to be the turkey trot, but we can definitely work that in somehow. Let's do a 5K.
I mean, it won't even be the end of November by Thanksgiving.
I'm still gonna be pushing for like Pilates to be a punishment as like a goal, because like it looks like the number of people I've seen struggle with it.
Just because of the Amon Ra video?
Not even like I've like yes seeing him, but I've seen so many like quote unquote manly men have to do Pilates, and it looks brutal. And I'm just like I don't want to see if it's that bad, but I'm not gonna like just do it on a whim. But I would definitely do it as like a
Okay. I like this.
charity goal.
Phenom.
I like
Sweaty
spreading-
Jeremy to security. Do you know who I am? Dressed as a turkey.
But yeah, let's
Oh, man.
spread the love a little bit this Movember. Doesn't have to be me punishing myself 100% of the time.
That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, so my greatest sports accomplishment was I don't know if I told this story before on the podcast, but 10th grade JV baseball, we were playing the Fenton Tigers, our crosstown rivals. I was playing first base, and a kid legged out a ball that he hit up the middle to the shortstop, but there was a guy on first, so he tried turning two. So like got the out at second, they turned it to me. The kid was safe by 2 steps, and he walked back to the bag and he's like, "Was I out?" And I was like, "Yeah, you're out." and he started walking. He started walking back to the dugout. So like I yelled at my buddy who was the pitcher to throw me the ball, and then I walked over and I tagged him. I was like, "Now you're out." And his coach was not. His coach was upset, and I was just like. Once I tagged him, I threw the ball to third base too, just so that like I don't know, like so we could just throw the ball around the horn.
Oh, bro.
It was
No,
it was a great day.
How you didn't get into a fight that day? It's like I know it's baseball and like you should like you gotta know better, but it's just like
In full
in that
disclosure,
moment.
yeah, was not a good baseball player. Like myself and 2 of my friends in high school, like we were like bored. We didn't have a spring sport to play, so we were like, let's try out for the baseball team, and we all made it. And all of us were not good.
Let me ask you a question. Is your
Yeah.
least favorite commercial of all time the sportsmanship "It was out" commercial?
I touched it, coach.
I touched it, coach.
Shut up. Shut up. Give me the ball. Tag him. Now you're out.
That's one sport I wish I could have played in high school was baseball.
Baseball's fun.
Like, no idea if I would have been good at it, but
Yeah.
like I just wanted to like try it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were your sports growing up, Miko?
Basketball, football, and track. Football, like a little bit, like not as much as I wish I had played now that I'm older.
Yeah.
Like when people talk about like football being such like a mental, like you have to be mentally and physically tough to play the game, like you don't understand that in high school.
Yeah.
And then like once you get older, you're like, okay, like now I get it.
Yeah.
Because like everything about football practice sucks. Like,
2 days.
none of it's fun, especially in high school. None of it's fun.
Yeah.
So like you genuinely have to just love the game.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
didn't love it. I got plucked to play football because of basketball.
What's your position?
Power forward and center.
What about football? The center?
Receiver and DB.
Two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rationale that my coach gave me for wanting me to play those positions, like, oh, you jump really high and you're really fast, and it's just like,
Yeah. So yeah,
sure.
that checks out for wide receiver.
Right.
Yeah. Wide receivers at my high school that I went to were glorified, like, you can't even call them distractions because we ran the wing tee. So like we threw the ball maybe 2-3 times a
Same.
game at most.
Yeah.
Bro, that was part of the reason why like I was just like, this is not for me. Like, not only
You
does,
guys
like,
all love hitting each other way too much.
like not only do the practices suck, but like on top of that, like we run the football way too much for me to be like at practice this long.
Yeah.
Sundog, no, like I'm not even that tall. Like I'm like 6 feet, and I've been this height since high school. But like I went to a high school where like I was tall for like my age, but then I just like never grew beyond that.
Okay. Yeah. I think I told this story on the podcast before, but 8th grade was the first year I went out for football. And like the very first practice, like you just, to everything you said, Miko, about like the mentality thing, it's 90 degrees. We're running gassers. I'm just like, you guys all do this like all the time? Like this is like you routinely show up on these days and do this?
When do you get to catch the football?
Yeah, like, do we throw it? And it's like, no, this is 2 yards in a cloud of dust. And also, I was on the heavyweight team because it was divided up into lightweights and heavyweights in middle
You
school.
told me that, yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so then like my coach in 8th grade was my social studies teacher, and I got like a 98% on the first test. So he moved me from offensive line to backup quarterback because he thought I was smart. And the very first play I ran, he sent me into the huddle to run it, and they were like, "What's the play?" And I was like, "I don't know, don't remember. Let's go."
That was like, I remember in middle school.
You Hendon Hookered it.
Quarterback.
The pre-snap, you just didn't know it. No.
I snapped.
That's-
I knew
that's not
that
nice
it was
to
a
have
wing
in
tee. Snap the ball, open up, fake, give the ball to somebody. Except I faked, and it was MV me time. And I got tackled, and I like messed up my wrist. Very first play.
Nice.
Ran back to the sideline, and he was like, "What was that?" I was like, "I don't. I'm a hockey player. This sucks. This is stupid. I'm not cut out for it."
You're
The
just
thing that's crazy is like,
football Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
like I like getting hit in football didn't bother me. Like it was literally just like we're outside, it's hot, and I'm having to run like an obscene amount
Yeah.
to like not be thrown the football.
Yeah.
You gotta
And then, like,
love
to still do
hey,
like receiver drills.
Miko. No block, no rock.
That's what I said. I just had, like honestly, if I had the mentality I had now that I have now, I would have just committed to like safety. Because
Yeah.
I loved playing DB. Like it was
Yeah.
fun. I honestly like playing receiver was tough. Like trying to remember like to Ryan's point, like trying to remember plays on offense was like, bro, what part of the play is my route? Because I can't, I think I missed it. playing playing defense, it's like, hey, we're running mulligan.
Go
Oh, okay,
follow
that's
that
cover two.
guy.
Like you just know terminology, and it's like we're either
Yeah.
playing cover two, cover three, or man. Like
Right.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like Jamarcus Russell didn't know any of that stuff, and he got drafted first overall.
There's a press conference that happened recently. I think it was Kelvin Shepard talking about maybe Ahmed. He's like, yeah, he's still learning what a 3-tech is. I'm like, what?
Yeah. I think it was what Kelvin Shepard was saying, like we're still
Come
teaching
again?
him like A gap, B
A,
gap. I'm
that's
like,
what
wait,
it
you're
was.
teaching him-
That's what it was.
I was like, you're
A
teaching him
gap.
what?
We call those players green.
Yeah. He's trying to put himself in a position to have an all-pro. Oh, that's Hutchinson. Then you have a guy like Ahmed, who I'm extremely excited about, but he's just trying to figure out what's the A, B, and C gap. I'm like, damn. You threw
Like,
him
what
under
were
a
they
bus.
teaching him at Boise State?
Is it? And I wonder if that's like a little bit of hyperbole. Just like he's just trying to say like
So
he's still
fundamental.
learning the
Yeah.
game,
Yeah.
not literally the A, B, and C gaps. Because I mean that is maybe one of the most self-explanatory things in football.
Yeah, but also for like just like role responsibility as a defensive lineman. Like
Right. And maybe that's also what he means is like when to be in the A gap, when to be in the B gap, not literally what does the A gap mean, what does the B gap mean.
point to the A gap on this chart. Ahmed. Is the B gap in this room with us right now?
A quarter, thank you for the 13 months in a row. 34 overall. Said love Chris, but really love Miko on the pod. Can't wait for some football. 2 days. 48 hours. Less than 48 hours. Is it? I don't even know what time the game is. Is it 7 or is it 8? I'm assuming it's one
late.
of those two.
Yeah, I think it's like. What if it's 7:30? No, it's 8:00.
Is it really?
I'm just
8?
hoping my excitement for football like carries me through the whole game. Because like I feel
It
like
won't.
I'm gonna be excited
It won't.
for like the first like quarter. And
Hey.
then be
Once-
like, all right, I don't need any more
Once
of this.
it's, these guys that we've barely even heard of. Once Miles Adams is in the game.
Once Kyle
Fingers.
Allen starts airmailing footballs like out of bounds.
Kyle
30
Allen's
feet
been all
over
right.
guys'
Kyle
heads.
Allen's been all right.
Fingers crossed for the paint in the end zone to cancel the game.
You just don't want it to happen at all.
It's like an extra preseason game.
Yeah.
Who wants that to happen?
It's extra football. Bonus football. Everyone gets all excited about overtime. Bonus football.
There
the
should be
same thing.
overtime
It's
in the
the same
preseason.
thing.
There should
No,
be
there's-
overtime in the preseason.
Shut up.
That's what I heard.
8 o'clock is ridiculous, though. I understand the Chargers are a West Coast team. But 8 o'clock is ridiculous.
They don't care about
cares?
football out there.
What is this? The WNBA final? Or the NBA finals, I mean. We're playing these at like 8:30. I don't know why I said WNBA. NBA finals where you're playing these games that start closer to 9 than 8. I'm just like, I want to go to bed, man.
Oh, don't get me started. The national championship game in both basketball
Yes.
and football.
But like, at
yeah.
least those are big
9:15
primetime events.
Kickoff.
What are we doing putting preseason on that same level of primetime?
Well, it's because it's on Peacock, Jeremy.
Is it really?
I think it's NBC/Peacock, so like you can probably get it through Peacock.
Gross.
I just didn't know if I
Gross.
can watch it at Buffalo Wild Wings or not. I've already like told my Bible study group, I'm like, hey, like we gotta go do this somewhere where I can watch the Lions. So I'm pulling double duty.
It's the worst. NBC and Peacock, yeah. I gotta get my YouTube TV back for football season.
Yeah, I gotta
YouTube
figure out
TV.
what I'm gonna do about that. I really don't want to talk to Xfinity anymore. Though I don't know. Last time I returned my modems, they were like, "Hey, if you need something, just come in the store." They're like, "The people over the phone suck."
Yeah. I've generally found that to be true with most companies.
Yeah, I was able to cancel Hulu though the other day after they charged me.
Oh, you have like Hulu just like by itself?
I was doing it for a while by itself because it was $2.99 a month.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
I think I'm getting it for like $1 or $2 right now myself.
Yeah. So like then I saw the charge and it was like $9.99. I was like, no, 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 the Bear's over. I have nothing else to watch here. So I'll take that money back.
Hulu's got some good replay shows. I like their library of like Communities on there, King of the
There's
Hills on there.
too many ads.
Yeah, that's true.
If in case anybody doesn't remember that,
The Hall
it
of
was
Fame game.
2016. Look at that article by Greg Rosenthal.
Was that the one where like they tried to heat up the paint? The paint was wet, so then they tried to heat it up and they melted the pellets in the field.
Yep. Yeah.
It's wild. It's very
There
much
was
a
a-
like trying to
Yeah.
not get something out of the tree with something and getting that thing stuck.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a problem at midfield and in the end zones with some of the painting that it was kind of congealing and rubberized, which meant players might slip on it.
Yeah, this feels like sabotage by one of the teams that were like, "Hey, we really don't want to play this game."
Right.
Well, of course it was a Packers game.
What are you trying to say?
Soft.
Soft.
Unsafe field conditions, they still shoved the Lions out there to play the Panthers. Detroit versus everybody. That's my point. Go ahead.
Someone asked about NFL Plus, and I believe there's still the case where you can get every preseason game on NFL Plus for every out-of-market NFL preseason game on NFL Plus. So if you're an out-of-market Lions fan, I would recommend NFL Plus. Yes. Which you also get NFL Pro, which is awesome. And if I'm not mistaken, is it all still $100 a month or a year? Because if so, absolute steal. Do it. And you can watch the old Hard Knocks too. Quick, do either of you know who's on this year's Hard Knocks?
Bills.
Buffalo Bills.
I'd completely forgotten until I saw a commercial like a day ago.
I don't think it's gonna be interesting, like in the least bit. That's a team that's just like, I mean, Keon Coleman might be like funny. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of clips of him, but
Yeah.
Who are they? Is it the NFC East, the in-season one?
I think so.
Or AFC
Yeah.
North?
They just
Or was
did
that
AFC
last
North.
year?
East.
They
AFC
just
North
did
was
AFC
last year?
Yeah.
yeah. So it's NFC East this year.
NFL Plus gets all the nationally televised games, I believe. Right? I think so.
Like you can watch them all.
But only on certain devices. Like,
oh, okay.
yeah, like on your phone.
Just crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I
Just
think
let
if you
me
watch
cast
on your
it.
phone, you can only watch like the ones that are in your market.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah,
In market games, including nationally televised games.
yeah. So if there's like Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, you can watch those.
Yeah. Of course, all those things used to be free too. You used to be able to watch them on your Yahoo app, Yahoo Sports app. Remember those days?
Yep.
Yeah, starting park racing. Only on devices that end with vowels.
What? Phone,
iPhone.
but not tablet.
T is a consonant. Yep.
Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to Ahmed Hassanin you right there. Sorry.
Time to get out of here.
Tablet.
Tablet.
All right, Tommy DeVito.
All right. I think it's time to get out of here. After saying, of course, Ashkar, thank you for the 31-month subscribe to the channel. Who also says, hey. Hey. As Miko said, we are doing a midweek mailbag, but that is Pride of Detroit Direct exclusive this week. We're going to do that after the preseason game, Friday. We also might do a podcast here on Friday, recapping the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know if we would then do another one on Monday. Probably wouldn't have to. Probably wouldn't make sense because there would only be one practice between then.
Yeah, and then we have the next preseason game
Friday.
Next Friday.
Right. We could do like a preview, maybe. I don't know. We'll still think it over, but basically, the short end of it is probably going to do a live POD cast Friday sometime to recap the game instead of Thursday night.
Yep. Sounds good.
Perfect.
Cool. All right.
That's
Time to
right,
get out of
Karen.
here, then.
If you aren't signed up for PODD, what are you doing?
We've literally had what amounts to 8 podcasts during training camp.
All good.
Thank you. From the Reisman recording room too. Like that's alone worth it.
Oh, shut this off.